Happy Independence Day, everybody. Welcome to Flames Baseball here on Team Line. A 1-1 count currently to Mike Stefan after the Rome Generals went down 1-2-3 in the top of the first inning. We apologize for any technical difficulties, we had in getting the broadcast up and running, but they are fixed and they are good to go as of right now. As the throw to first was not time to get Jack Cherno. He's on first base after a walk. He worked the count full and then took ball four. Stefan grabs it right back to the pitcher. Throw is into center field. Cherno on to third base. Here's the throw. It is cut off by the second baseman, Rob Gallagher. Runners at the corners and nobody out. And the Flames offense just keeps rolling, even with a little break. Another error from the Generals.
A lot of the reason that the Flames are doing so well these last few games is when the other team makes mental mistakes, they're taking full advantage. They're getting runners on base, and when they screw up, they keep advancing. And now you got runners on first and third with nobody out.
And the Rome Generals are second to last in the league in errors. They have the second most at now 56 on the errors. That brings up Ernie Giraci batting third tonight. He's the right fielder. First one of him is a fastball that just misses the outside corner. Ball one, the count 1-0. We'll give it the Flames batting order in just a little bit, but first the Rome General defense. In the outfield from left to right is Chris DiGiacomo, and center Matt Baker, and right is Kenny Michael. Here's a 1-0 to Giraci. The fastball is low and away. Ball two, the count 2 balls and no strikes. On the infield on the left side is Jimmy Valencia at third base, Max Struthers at shortstop. Right side of the infield, Rob Gallagher at second, Joe Bermonti at first. Catching balls and strikes is Woody Woodruff, and the starting pitcher tonight is Sean Gamelin. 2-0. Giraci takes it off speed over the inside corner. Strike one, the count 2 balls and 1 strike. As for the Flames batting order, Jack Cherno is in center field, the leadoff man. He's on third base. At first is Mike Stefan. That's where he's playing tonight, first base. Giraci in right field batting third. Due up. Next is the third baseman, Brian Hart. 2-1. Fastball is inside on Giraci. Ball 3, the count 3 balls and a strike. After Hart, it's the left fielder, A.J. DiFilippo, batting 5th. Batting 6th is the catcher, Jake Zura. Batting 7th, the DH, Nick Garcia. Batting 8th, the second baseman is Reed Gibbs. And batting 9th is the shortstop, Jake Evans. As here's 3-1 to Giraci. Runner goes from first. The pitch is a swing and miss. Thrown out to second. Well up and away. And Max Struthers did a great job to keep that ball from going into center field. However, it's a stolen base for the Flames, and they have 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out.
They've been getting on base early and often. That's a trend you've seen through the last few games, particularly the last matchup, which came on Monday against the Sherrill Silversmiths.
He's Brandon Ross. I'm Eric Moon with you on the broadcast here on the 4th of July. As here is the payoff to Giraci. The fastball's a swing and a miss for strike 3, and there is the first out of the bottom half of the first inning. That brings up the third baseman, Brian Hart. Hart on the air, batting .293. It is second home run of the season in that 10-run first inning on Monday against the Sherrill Silversmiths. Brought in the second and third runs with that homer as the breaking ball's up for ball 1. They count 1 ball and no strikes. Hart has 19 RBIs on the air, which is second on the team, only behind A.J. DiFilippo, who's due up next. Here comes the 1-0 from Gamelin, and the fastball's a swing and miss in the lower third of the zone. Strike 1, the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Meanwhile, on the mound for the Generals, Sean Gamelin attends Fitchburg State College. That is located in Fitchburg, Massachusetts. Native of West Kingston, Rhode Island. He was a 3-sport athlete in high school at South Kingstown. As here's the 1-1. Hart swings and misses at a fastball in the upper outer part of the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes as Gamelin approaches 20 pitches in this inning. As I mentioned, 3-sport athlete in high school. Baseball, cross country, and indoor track.
You can tell that 5'9", 190 frame, that's built for long-distance running.
Time is called by the home plate umpire. First start of the year for Gamelin. 7th appearance. He's pitched 11 and a third innings so far. He's 2-1 on the year with a save, and his ERA is at 2.38. 4 runs, 3 earned allowed on the year. See if the Flames can increase that total here in the first inning. 1-2. Fastball hit in the air to right center field, trailing back. Pretty deep is Kenny Michael, but he makes the catch in right center. Jogging home is Jack Cherno on the sac fly. Into third base is Mike Stefan. And the Flames open the scoring. It's 1-0 Onondaga here on Independence Day.
You know, it's only one run to start this game out, but again, any sort of lead to start off the ball game helps. It's shown to snowball out of control the last few times the Flames have stepped on the field, particularly against this Generals team.
Here is A.J. DiFilippo, now tied with Brian Hart with RBIs on the team, as that was Hart's 20th RBI of the season. First one of the left-handed batters, a fastball in the outer part of the plate for strike one. The count, no balls and 1 strike, DiFilippo. A .294 hitter on the year. This is his 21st game of the year, and he has 20 hits in his first 20 games. 0-1. Fastball on the inside corner this time. No balls and 2 strikes to the product of Columbia. Interesting note, there is one man who has attended both Columbia University and Bryant and Occidental College, as DiFilippo swings and misses at the high fastball.
Barack Obama?
That is correct. So I was about to get to that in the top half of the second inning. On to the second we go. Flames ahead 1-0.
Come on, that's a politics question. Don't act like I wouldn't know the answer.
I wasn't talking to you.
Oh well.
I brought it up.
Yeah, I
spoiled it.
Oh well. Anyway, so obviously you lost the top half of that inning. If you want, you can get top 7 with me. Instead of me doing play-by-play, you're doing color top 7. You can flip that.
Nah, don't worry about it.
All right.
I got a 10-run top of the first inning, all right? It balances, okay? 10-run first.
You know what? Let's call it square it there, okay?
Yeah, it's even now, all right?
All right.
It's even now.
I didn't get my bottom half solo
We're
inning
going to go back
anyway.
a little early for the Rome lineup and the defense.
Yeah, that's fine. It's like 2 pitches in, 3 pitches into his warm-up.
Yeah.
What did AJ do again?
He struck out swinging.
Okay. Oh, I love this song.
Let's get back after this pitch. Welcome back to Flames Baseball on Team Line, set to begin the second inning as the warm-ups continue on the mound for Mike Netzel for his second inning of work in tonight's start. Let's take a look at the general batting order. Leading off is the center fielder, Matt Baker. He already popped out to second base. Batting second, the catcher, Woody Woodruff. He grounded out to short in that first inning. Batting third, Kenny Michael, the right fielder. He struck out swinging. Batting fourth, and right now at the plate is the DH, Jonel Ozuna. Batting fifth, the first baseman, Joe Bramante. Batting sixth, the left fielder, Chris DiGiacomo. The third baseman, Jimmy Valenti, bats seventh. Batting eighth is the second baseman, Rob Gallagher. And batting ninth is the shortstop, Mac Struthers. Burnett's on the mound. It's his 4th game, 3rd start of the year. And the first pitch fastball is on the inside corner for strike 1 to Ozuna. The count is 0-1. Took Netzel 12 pitches to get through the Generals' first 3 hitters in that first inning. As the 0-1 is a big swing and miss and a breaking ball in the dirt. Got to chase the bait. No balls and 2 strikes to Ozuna. Netzel on the air has pitched 13 2/3 innings. 10 runs, 7 earned allowed. As the breaking ball just misses the outside corner. Ball 1, the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. He has been a consistent pitcher, though. He takes, as a hitter, he draws a lot of walks, but as a pitcher, he has only served up 2 to opposing hitters. As Ozuna swings and misses at a fastball on the outside corner, that's strike 3, and out number 1 here in the second inning. Back-to-back strikeouts for Mike Netzel.
And you could probably attribute it partially to being able to see both sides of the aisle. You know, Mike Netzel experience on the mound and in the batter's box probably allows him to be better at both, as he is one of the better hitters on this Flames squad as well.
And that brings up Joe Bramante, the first baseman. First one of him from Netzel is a fastball low and away. Ball 1, the count 1 ball and no strikes. Bramante out of the University of Maine, Orono. A few notes on that college, as here's the 1-0. Off speed finds the inside corner, strike 1. The count evens up at a ball and a strike. Located in Orono, Maine, some notable alumni. The famous author Stephen King, of course. As the 1-1 fastball just misses the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. And with many Northeastern schools, you typically see some hockey guys too. John Tortorella, the head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets, Ben Bishop, current goalie with the Dallas Stars, as Bramante fouls it away to the right side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And then a name that's very familiar to Brandon and I as broadcasters, Gary Thorne, a graduate of the University of Maine, Orono. Here's the 2-2. Bramante grounds it up the middle. Snagged by Evans on the slide, but he has no play as Bramante hustling down the line, legs out, an infield hit. Good play by Evans, but the first hit of the night, regardless, for Rome.
Jake Evans, a great effort there. A sliding effort over behind the bag at second, but obviously he had to range quite a way to get there. And in that time, Bramante was easily able to take first, and he's a very tall guy with very long legs, so that's not unexpected.
That brings up Chris DiGiacomo out of Johns Hopkins University. 8 of 45 of the plays so far this year for Rome as the pitch is outside for ball 1. The count 1 ball and no strikes to the Rome left fielder. DiGiacomo's played in 20 games to this point. This is his 21st. He has scored 5 runs and driven in 5. And all of his hits have been singles, but this one is hit pretty deep to right field. Trailing back is Girachi, but he doesn't even get to the track yet. He makes the catch for the second out. Back to first base is Joe Bramante. 2 away, and now it's time to take a look at the Onondaga Flame defense in the outfield from left to right. It's A.J. DiFilippo in left, Jack Cherno in center, Ernie Girachi in right. In the infield on the left side, it's Brian Hart at third base, Jake Evans at short. On the right side, Reed Gibbs at second, and Mike Stefan at first. And catching balls and strikes tonight is Jake Surratt. Here's the third baseman, Jimmy Valenti. First one to him is a fastball outside for ball 1. They got 1 ball and no strikes. Valenti out of Westfield State College. Native of Massapequa Park, New York. Graduate of Massapequa High School. 1-0. Fastball is on the outside corner this time. Strike 1, the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Only played in 6 games with Westfield State during the year. 15 at-bats, only 2 hits. A lot more experience with the Generals this summer as the fastball's up for ball 2. Spraying up the butt but pointed back just in time was Valenti. This is his 17th game of the season. He's 6 of 29 of the plate. 6 runs scored, just the 1 RBI. He has struck out 15 times in his 29 at-bats as the throw to first is not in time. So strikeout every other at-bat pretty much for Valenti. Statistically speaking, 15 Ks and 29 at-bats officially. 2-1 the count to the Rome third baseman. Here it is. Squares up the bunt. He went. The throw down to second is just a little wide left. Gibbs tried to bring the ball back, but sliding into second before the tag was there was Joe Bramante. Stolen base for the Generals now. Runner on second and 2 away with a 2-2 count. On deck, if we get there, is Rob Gallagher, the second baseman. Netzel's last start came against the Syracuse Saltcats 10 days ago. He looks off the runner at second, and the 2-2 pitch is a swing and a miss, and another fastball. Strikeout number 3 on the night for Netzel, and that retires the side. A runner left on by the Generals. Meanwhile, the Flames lead it 1-0 after an inning and a half.
There we go.
Alrighty.
We're out. How about this? When you're bringing up alumni, how about just now, just for the sake of it, I'll give you thumbs up if I knew that, thumbs down if I didn't.
Alright.
Just for fun's sake.
Yeah.
Because I knew Stephen King, I did not know Tortorella or Thorne.
Did you know Ben Bishop?
I did not know that.
You probably don't know who he is.
I don't know who he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Hockey guy?
He's goalie.
Okay. So
Yeah.
definitely don't know who he
NHL
is.
level goalie. Good player.
Definitely don't know who he is, yeah.
Ignatius Chapman Occidental. I got another note on Occidental, don't worry.
I knew Obama spent 2 years at Occidental, then
That's
transferred to
correct.
Columbia,
Mm-hmm.
where he majored in IR and then went to
Yeah.
Harvard Law School after
Obama
working
did
for a couple years in
undergrad
Chicago.
Occidental and Columbia.
And then took a couple years working in Chicago on the south side, and then
He
went to
did
Harvard
a
Law
lot of-
School, became the first black editor of the Harvard Law Review. Don't worry, I know Obama's biography, even though I'm not a A Democrat, I know him front to back.
Yeah. All right, after this pitch here.
He was also born in Kenya. Only kidding.
Yeah.
Born in Hawaii to a Kenyan father, Barack Obama Sr., and a white mother.
Here we go. Welcome back to Flames Baseball. Team lock-in set for the bottom of the second inning between the Generals and the Flames. 6, 7, 8 in the Onondaga order to begin this inning, and Jake Zurot, the catcher, steps up to the plate. A little more on the pitcher, Sean Gamblin, on the bump for the Generals. At Fitchburg State, he's majoring in exercise and sports science. And he pitched in 9 games, just 1 start with Fitchburg State this past year. As the first pitch, fastball just misses to Zurot. Ball 1, the count 1 ball, no strikes. He was 0-3, but his ERA was pretty good at a 4.22 in 21 and a third innings. As here's the 1-0 to Zurot. And fastball hits the lower third of the zone. Strike 1, the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Zurot on the year batting, well, he's 10 of 48 at the plate, batting a little over 200 in 14 games so far. As the 1-1 off speed is off the plate. 2 balls and a strike on the pitch that just missed the outside corner. Zurot, of course, native of East Amherst, New York. As a 2-1 is blind foul off the netting behind home plate. Strike 2, the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Zurot did not appear in the Flames' previous game against the Cheryl Silversmiths. As a matter of fact, he hasn't appeared in the last 2 games. That includes the Generals game on Sunday, as Zurot fouls it back to the netting once again. Pretty much to the same spot, 2 balls and 2 strikes. His last start came against the Cortland Crush. He batted 6th in that one. Went 1 for 5 with a 2-run double. Also drove in a run with an RBI fielder's choice, so a 3 RBI night in his last start. As a 2-2 fastball is up and in. Ball 3 to count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Zurot up to 8 RBIs on the year now. As here's the payoff. Fastball is swung on and missed. A fastball that just got to chase high. It's a strikeout, the 3rd of the night already for Gamblin, and the first out of the second. Here's the DH, Nick Garcia, getting his first start as a hitter in a little while. Did appear at third base during the Cheryl game. Came in as a defensive substitution in the bottom of the 4th inning. It is only a baddie strikeout swinging against Alvin Vega. First pitch off speed is just off the outside part of the plate. Ball 1, the count 1 ball and no strikes. Garcia, 6 of 25 at the plate so far this year. He's driven in 5. Well, he's driven in 1, and he's scored 5 times. Swing and miss at the fastball that time. 1 ball and 1 strike. After Gamblin's 30th pitch of the night, threw in an 8 and a third. Here's a 1-1. Fastball is just up and away. Ball 2, the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Of Garcia's 6 hits on the year, 2 of them have gone for extra bases. 1 double and 1 triple. The triple drove in a run. As the breaking ball stays high for ball 3 and pops out of the mitt of Woody Woodruff. Good hitter scout here for Garcia, 3 balls and a strike. His triple drove in a run way back on June 4th against the Rochester Richmond. 3-1 fastball stays high for ball 4. And Sean Gamblin serves his 2nd walk of the night. Runner on with 1 away for the Flames. That brings up the second baseman, Reed Gibbs, now for the Flames. Gibbs last made an appearance on Sunday against the Generals. He came in to play second base during the 7th inning. He got 2 at-bats, went 0 for 2, but reached on an error in the 7th inning of that one. Scores up the bunt, pops it up behind home plate. Woodruff has no chance to get it, as it was pretty far back towards the screen. Strike 1, the count, no balls and 1 strike. Lucky break for the Flames after the miscue at the plate by Gibbs. But he gets another chance with an 0-1 count to try and move the runner over to second base, maybe even get a hit. Significant hole on the right side of the infield. Middle infielder is a double play depth. Covering the bag is Joe Bramante at first. Swing and a miss by Gibbs with the breaking ball low and away. And the count is quickly no balls and 2 strikes out of the product of Occidental College. So we mentioned former President Barack Obama attended Occidental College and Columbia University, 2 years at Occidental, then 2 years at Columbia. But another famous alum from Occidental College, where Reed Gibbs and Mike Netzel attend, as a throw down to first is picked by Bermonti, but not in time for the out.
I kind of spoiled the Barack Obama one for you guys, so let's see if I can get this one.
Famous actor. He has appeared in a lot of films, let's just say that. Still active. He attended Occidental College for a year and a half. Did not graduate from Occidental.
Was it Ethan Hawke?
No.
Oh.
Fastball is high for ball 2. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes. The name you're hoping to get is Ben Affleck.
Ah!
Yeah.
Interesting. Since he's from Boston, that's an interesting choice.
It is. Yeah. Only attended Occidental for a year and a half. As here's the 2-2 to Gibbs. Breaking ball is fouled off himself in the batter's box. And he will stay alive at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's interesting because it's a fun fact that his high school best friend, Matt Damon, also dropped out just before graduation at Harvard, nonetheless. He had 3 weeks to go, and then he went to take a movie role in a movie that absolutely flopped.
2-2. Gibbs rams it down the left field line, but that one is well foul. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes once again. So Gibbs able to fight off a pitch before the last one, and then he hits it perhaps home run distance to the left side.
It seems to be that a lot of the Flames hitters seem to just have the number of the pitchers on the mound, and so far today the Flames don't even have a hit yet. They just seem to be able to work their way on base and make the most of their situations.
Well, when you're hitting well at the plate, you tend to get a little more breaks than the other team as Gibbs pops it up behind home plate. Woody Ridov looking for it behind, and the slide is made, but the catch is not. We couldn't see what happened here for Woodruff, but the call was made by the home plate umpire in our sight. So again, Gibbs fouls off a pitch, and he's putting together quite the quality at bats.
This is about to be, I think, the 7th pitch of this at-bat coming up.
At least. Actually, I think it's at least the 8th pitch. We've seen 3 foul balls in a row on a 2-2 count. Pitch is high, well high for ball 3. And the count runs full down on 3 balls and 2 strikes. Fourth full count already by Flames hitters tonight. Gibbs is the 8th batter at the plate. Throw to first is not in time, not even a tag applied by the first baseman, Bermonti. And with the Flames during their winning streak, we've seen a mix of the usual very patient approach and an aggressive approach at the plate. But it goes with the 3-2 and Gibbs pops it up. Skied in right around the second base bag, calling for it is the second baseman Gallagher. He makes the catch in short center. And that is the second out of the inning. Back to first base is Nick Garcia. Here's the shortstop, Jake Evans. Had himself a pretty good day against the Rome Generals on Sunday in his last appearance with the Flames in action. A 2-for-4 night. He scored 2 runs, drove in 1. And he also reached, a 2-for-3 night. He had a sacrifice bunt in the second inning. 2 hits after that, a walk, and a ground out. First one to Evans. Fastball is grounded towards second base. A good hop, a good snag by Gallagher. The throw to first is in time for the up, and that retires the side. The Flames strand 1, and they still lead the Rome Generals 1-0 after 2 innings from OCC.
So I got notified by someone that we had a hot mic in between innings last time.
Okay.
Thankfully, we're good now.
What was said in between innings?
What?
What was said in between innings?
Oh, thankfully that's like the one middle inning where I didn't curse up a storm. The person said, very interesting convo, but wasn't sure you were aware. It was us talking about the alumni people.
Oh, well, that was fine.
It's like the one good inning that's completely clean that we have.
This person also said combo was good, just wasn't sure if you knew it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I wonder if they could... Well, did you forget to mute the mic?
That's probably what happened.
Yeah.
One left on.
Yep. They've left on
Very good.
2 so far, 1 in each inning.
Yeah.
I missed right. Wide right, just like the Bills kicker in Super Bowl 25.
All right, ready?
I don't know how I forgot his name.
Rob Gallagher. Let's go.
No, not Rob Gallagher, the Bills kicker that missed the kick in Super Bowl 25.
Oh, I have no idea. Can't remember. All right. Back for the top of the third inning here at OCC Stadium. Still a 1-0 lead for the Flames. The first pitch to Rob Gallagher is fouled back towards the backstop, and the count's 0-1. Mike Netzel out on the mound for his third inning of work, able to discard easily the first 7 batters here for the Rome Generals as the 0-1 pitch is fouled, and again the count's now 0-2. Rob Gallagher, a recently graduated high school senior from around the Rome area. He'll be starting at the University of Massachusetts Lowell come the fall as the 0-2 pitch misses outside, and it counts 1 ball and 2 strikes. Netzel one to work quickly on the mound, a little bit more patient tonight. The 1-2 popped up to the left side, but foul over near the parking lot, not at my car, for goodness sake, and the count's still 1-2.
Oh, foul balls are not going to reach your car here at OCC, thankfully.
That's the blessing part of it.
Mm-hmm. Thank the immortal Pikachu for that blessing.
Infield back. The 1-2 is skied high into the left field, into foul territory, giving heavy chases DiFilippo, but he can't reach it. It's just about 5 feet out of his grasp, and the count stays at 1-2.
Well, you can tell the hustle usually from these guys when the hat flips off their head. AJ DiFilippo's hat came off right around the foul line, and he thankfully put the brakes on right before he hit the fence.
Third foul ball in a row for Rob Gallagher, coming in to face the 6th pitch of this at-bat. One-two. Breaking ball just misses outside. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And he's putting together a similar at-bat to Reed Gibbs in that first inning where he would just fight off pitch after pitch, and then he would take a ball here or there during the at-bat.
Infield playing back in the infield. The 2-2 misses high, so the fastball misses, and the count's full at 3-2. Patient approach from both teams so far. Not swinging at pitches out of the zone. The 2-2 is scried high into left center field. That goes over the head of Jack Cherno out there. Going around second is Gallagher. He'll put on the brakes after he rounds the bag. It's a no-out double to start out the inning for Rob Gallagher, and the Generals quickly have a runner in scoring position.
And that's some good wood from Gallagher. He got the 3-2 count, so he knew that Netzel had to throw him a strike, and he got into it for his second hit of the year, first extra base hit.
And now runner in scoring position with no one out for the Generals. That'll be the first at-bat here for Max Struthers. Struthers just finished his freshman season at Keene State College in New Hampshire. Struthers himself a native of Stafford, New Hampshire. First pitch is a fastball, catches the outside corner, and Struthers quickly behind the count 0-1. Struthers heading into today, not one of the better hitters on this team, played in 14 games so far, hitting below the Mendoza line at 188. Netzel looks back at second, where Gibbs plays him closely. The breaking ball catches the outside corner, so Struthers in a bit of a hole now, 0-2. Oh-2 count here on Struthers. Netzel deals. The breaking ball catches the outside corner, and Max Struthers is retired looking and went away here with a runner on second in the top of the third for the Rome Generals, and that will bring back the top of the order.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Max Struthers. Down on 3 pitches, and Netzel frozen with the third.
The 4th strikeout of the evening for Mike Netzel, and now Matt Baker with a chance to do something here. Baker popped out to second in his first at-bat, back in the first. Netzel looking back where covering is Reed Gibbs. The bunt attempt is foul territory, but he runs out of the box and it hits him as he's running to first. So he will be called out on the batter's interference call. And so there will be 2 away here in the top of the third, and that brings up Woodruff. That's a terrible mistake to make if you're a hitter.
Well, it's a terrible mistake and a terrible bounce. Baker, he didn't run on the baseline. That was the problem. He ran all the way near to the grass, just to the left of the baseline, and that's why the ball got him.
That'll be ruled batter's interference, and Woodruff up with a runner in scoring position and 2 away. Woodruff last time up, grounded out to Jake Evans over at short, made a great leaning backwards throw over to first to retire him. And the first pitch is a breaking pitch that he cuts on and misses, and the count's 0-1. Woodruff working out of a wide stance, slightly open facing the left side. The 0-1. Fastball catches the outside corner. No swing from Woody Woodruff on what looked to be a strike all the way. 0-2 here with 2 away. Netzel had that runner on second base behind him with nobody out in this inning and a chance to retire the next 3 batters consecutively here with 1 more strike. Netzel looks back, the 0-2. Fastball just misses outside. Everyone was looking ready to run back into the Flames dugout, but not quite as the home plate umpire says that's a ball, and the count's 1-2.
That looked pretty good to me. I thought it caught the corner.
It was a close pitch. You can't really tell from up here. We are quite a bit of a ways away. So a 1-2 count here for Netzel. Everyone thought they were going to get to go back into the dugout after that last pitch. And, karma can be a little bit of a not so good of a friend. 1-2's cut on and missed on the outside. He chases at the breaking ball. It's in the dirt. Zarot fires to first. 2 retire to the side. So Aurora gets on second with nobody out. But Mike Netzel able to handle it. Hits 5th strikeout of the night. Heading into the bottom of the 3rd inning. Flames still up 1-0. I really don't know what the deal is. They should be able to hear anything. But now...
on Facebook...
Yeah, I know. I really don't know what the deal is, but now I'm, being extra sure. The thing is off. We can't even hear ourselves.
Yeah.
Just experiment? Yeah, okay. So, we're going to use this now to turn it off.
Yeah.
Just turn...
Yeah.
That's the safe bet.
We'll try that, and if it doesn't work, then if anything, my first idea was turning off the internal microphone on the...
The internal microphone is always off.
Right.
It's always off. Which is kind of why it's puzzling that...
Uh-huh. Yeah. Kind of weird.
That's weird. Anyway. But now it's, permanently off.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to hear anything. If there's any... Then, something's mortally wrong, and there's, spy software.
Yeah. That was the last half inning.
Yeah.
That last one. Still checking my phone profusely during this part.
A la playa, a mí me gusta bailar. Viva de la noche, salsa fiesta. Vamos a la playa, a mí me gusta bailar.
Last one here.
Yep. Puzzling, but you're very funny. Alright. We're good, though. We are good. It's bottom 3rd, right?
Yeah.
Bring it back in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Flames still have a 1-0 lead. It'll be the 1, 2, and 3 hitters, Jack Cherno, Mike Stefan, and Ernie Geraci to lead off here for the Flames. Cherno starting off. He walked his first time around, came around to score. And the corner infield playing in close here, close to the infield grass, anticipating a possible bunt. Cherno known to be a speedster. Sean Gamlin out for his 3rd inning of work. The first pitch is a fastball, misses high, and the count's 1-0. Cherno had a very hot start to the year. He's slowed down a little bit, but he's getting back on track. He went 3 for 4 in his last game against the Cheryl Silversmiths. Cuts that one deep down the right field line, but well foul. That one was close to home run distance, would have likely been a hopper off the wall. So the count evens up at a ball and a strike.
And he's shown that power before. In particular, I remember his double off the wall against the Spartans on June 10th.
A lot of players have made advantage of that power alley out in left center field. And Cherno, a little known fact, he's also an intern on this Flames ball club. Chops that one right back to the pitcher. Running in to get it is Gamelin. He tosses it lightly over to first and gets Cherno down for out number 1. So a quick 1-3 putout to start off the bottom of the third. That brings up Mike Stefan. Last time up, Stefan reached on a fielder's choice. Gamelin fielded the ball at the pitcher's mound. Stefan made it over to first. Cherno was going to second. Gamelin made the throw over to second, and it flew into the outfield. Cherno advanced to third on that play and eventually came around to score on a Brian Hart sacrifice fly. First pitch to Stefan is a fastball up and away, and the count's 1-0. Stefan came in very briefly in the last matchup against the Silversmith as a pinch runner. And the 1-0's fouled right back to the screen behind home plate. A 1-1 count here with 1 away in the bottom of the third. Stefan, sort of the inverse of Jack Cherno. He started off very slow. His batting average for a long time toiled around 100. Now above the Mendoza line, hitting .220. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses outside, so 2 balls and 1 strike to Mike Stefan. Gamelin's been working quicker and quicker as this game has gone on. The 2-1 pitch is a fastball missing outside, so 3 balls and a strike here to Stefan. And the thing about Sean Gamelin, you can tell from up here his fastball is not very strong. He's only 5'9", he doesn't have a lot of body to put power behind it. 3-1 fastball is right down the middle, so full count here to Mike Stefan. Yeah, 5'9", you can't generate a lot of power at 5'9", so you really have to improvise. You got to be shifty with your pitches. You got to be very expert at placement. The 3-2 pitch is a called strike 3. Mike Stefan was getting ready to toss the bat and walk down to first, but instead he gets rung up, and there are 2 away here in the bottom of the third.
Speaking of expert placement, that last pitch, a beautiful fastball on the outside corner, and it fooled Stefan. He probably was expecting a strike being thrown at him with a 3-2 count, but that fastball did look outside to him, so it was great placement by Gamelin.
4th strikeout of the night for Sean Gamelin. That one's ripped into right field, and that will drop in front of the right fielder, Kenny Michael, for a base hit. So the Flames able to get a runner on with 2 away, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter in Brian Hart.
3rd hit on the year for Jirachi. His hits in consecutive games for the Flames. He got one against the Cheryl Silversmiths on Monday.
Jirachi had 2 at-bats against the Silversmiths, came in as a pinch hitter for Brian Hart in the 5th inning of that contest. That brings up Brian Hart himself, who had a stellar outing that day. Hit his 2nd home run of the year, ended up 2 for 3 with a home run and a double. First pitch is a called strike, and the count's 0-1. So Brian Hart, with a home run and a double, now up to 11 extra base hits on the year, among the lead leaders in that category. The 0-1 fastball misses outside, so a ball and a strike here to Brian Hart with 2 away. Flames still nursing a 1-0 lead and a runner on first base.
And this is a guy that's pretty comfortable in this league at this point, because especially with the power he's shown off in recent weeks. A couple homers in the year, a few doubles. The sac fly went pretty far in the 1st inning.
1-1 misses inside. A back pick attempt by Woody Woodruff behind the plate, but nothing doing. As getting back in there safely at first base is Ernie Jirachi, even if he did have to get a little bit dirty to stay safe. So 2 balls and a strike to Brian Hart.
Yeah, he's hitting .293, 24 hits on the year. Of those 24 hits, almost half of them have gone for extra bases. 6 doubles, 3 triples, 2 homers.
2-1 count here to Hart. Jirachi taking a moderate lead off of first. The 2-1's popped up. Infield gets slightly into the outfield, stepping onto the outfield grass is the second baseman, Rob Gallagher. He makes the catch to end the inning. Flames don't go down 1-2-3. Jirachi gets on first with 2 away, but Flames get retired after Hart flies out to end the inning. Still 1-0 lead Flames after the 3 innings of play. We don't need to turn all those knobs. Yes, we know. We know.
have seen this.
We know. We've been the one responding to them. We've taken foolproof measures.
I'm taking all measures. I'm turning that down because they could hear us last inning. It's that too.
Dude, no. First of all, we didn't turn this down that last inning. If this is down, none of these matter.
Well, then what was the
last inning? I had only clicked this.
No, what was the last message?
The last message was in the half inning between top and bottom 3. Wait, no. It was between bottom 2 and top 3.
Really?
Yes. Dude, if this is all the way down, you can't hear anything.
All right. Yeah.
Dude, put your headset on. If you can't hear me, then they can't
I
hear me.
can't hear you.
Okay, so there's the point. Okay, there you go. I just realized in the middle of that inning that I did not have their defensive alignment written down.
Wah, wah.
Hate to see it.
Here we go.
Hold on. At least I know who the pitcher and catcher are. Top of the fourth inning here at OCC Stadium. This game between the Onondaga Flames and the Rome Generals here on the 4th of July. Still 1-0 ball game. The Flames lead. Mike Netzel out for his fourth inning of work as Kenny Michael leads off the top of the fourth for the Rome Generals. First pitch is caught on and missed. Netzel pulled the string on that one, and Michael got caught out ahead. The count's 0-1.
And Netzel has that strikeout pitch working so far tonight. 5 Ks in the first 3 innings.
Yeah, one fastball misses in the dirt outside. That one about a 58-footer, but it was outside regardless. So a ball and a strike here to Kenny Michael to start off the inning. Netzel today, a much quicker operator than in games past. The 1-1 is cut on and missed. Michael couldn't quite get around that one, and the count's 1-2. Infield playing deep here. Stefan just slightly closer to the bag. As the 1-2 pitch is looked on for strike 3. Kenny Michael didn't like the call, but that one just caught the outside corner, and it's one away here in the top of the fourth. Now that's the 6th strikeout of the game for Mike Netzel.
Yeah, speaking of the strikeout pitch, that one painted the corner like Rembrandt right there. Easy cold strike 3 for the first out of the inning.
6th strikeout, second looking for Mike Netzel, and that brings up the cleaner hitter Jonel Ozuna, who struck out swinging his first time up as he quickly calls time to get his bearings.
And sometimes noticing the home plate umpire is more of a pitcher's umpire. He is giving those corners to the pitchers on both sides tonight.
First pitch to Ozuna, a fastball just outside, count 1-0. Infield shifted slightly to the right for the left-handed hitting Ozuna. Jake Evans playing closer to second base at the shortstop position, and the second baseman Reed Gibbs playing into the shallow right field. The 1-0 pitch misses outside, so 2 balls and no strikes to Ozuna.
And a huge gap in right center field. Jirachi shaded towards the right field line. Cherno pretty much playing dead center.
2-0, Sky down the left side, but well foul. So 2 balls and a strike to Ozuna, and going back to your mention of the outfield shift, you can see DiFilippo out there in left, playing closer to the gap than to the line down the left side.
I think it's actually pretty much straight away for a left fielder. Maybe a couple steps to his left from straight away.
The 2-1's ripped into left center field gap. A diving attempt by DiFilippo is no good. That one goes to the wall. Cherno chases that one to the wall. Going around second is Ozuna. He's lugging it out for third. It's cut off by Jake Evans. The throw to third. It gets there in time, but it gets past Mike Netzel guarding third base, and scoring on that play is Jonel Ozuna. It'll be a triple and an error, and Jonel Ozuna scores the first run of the game for the Road Generals. Crucial mental mistake there. Jake Evans shooting for a throw. Looked like it could have gotten there in time, but he threw it a little bit errantly, and that one getting past the third baseman Brian Hart over there.
And that's one of those where you have a chance to get the runner at third base, get that big out after the extra base hit to the gap, but Evans just gripped the ball a little too tightly and he overshot it to the left of Brian Hart's glove, and as a result, the first round of the game comes home.
First round of the game for Rome, and as pitching coach Robert Anders goes out to talk to Mike Netzel, that's a crucial mistake there to make if you're the Onondaga Flames. You had a 1-0 lead. It literally makes no sense. It makes no logical sense. We're being spied on. Robert Anders, the pitching coach, still out there talking with Mike Netzel, probably just a little bit more of a collaborative conversation, just making sure that his head's still in this. A minor mistake allowing one run can really snowball into a disastrous inning, and waiting on in the batter's box right now is Joe Bramante, and he'll step up to the plate with one away in the top of the 4th inning. Pitcher coach Robert Andrews conversing with the home plate umpire. AJ Filippo, a gutsy attempt out there in left center field, didn't pay off. He missed the catching attempt. That one rolled all the way to the wall. It was an easy triple and turned out to be a home run after the throw went errant. And Joe Bramante now up to the plate. He singled his first time up. Nutzel back on the rubber, ready to go. First pitch misses in the dirt, and the count's 1-0. Joe Bramante, the 27th game for the Road Generals of the year. He's their Iron Man. His 27th game, playing in every game so far. The 1-0, a fastball in the lower third, catches the zone, and the count's 1-1. Nutzel winds up again quickly. The 1-1 fastball just catches the upper third this time, and the count's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And infield playing back now, 1-2 count here on Bramante. Nutzel winds and deals the 1-2. Breaking ball just misses low. A check swing by Bramante doesn't go around, says the first base umpire, so 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2. Breaking ball just misses inside. Nutzel wanted that call, but Bramante gets to stay in the batter's box. It's a full 3-2 count. Nutzel gets set, gets ready. The payoff. Breaking ball, check swing, doesn't go around, so Bramante walks here with 1 away, and another base runner now for the Rome Generals.
And you can't let this inning get away from you if you're Mike Nutzel. Already a run home on the triple on the error, and now a walk with the runner on with 1 out in the inning. It's nothing to panic about right now in a tie ball game at 1 in the 4th inning, because a ground ball can still get you out of it, a ground ball double play rather.
So Bramante now leading off for first, and Chris DiGiacomo up in the plate. He flew out to right field his first time. The first pitch fastball misses outside. 1-0 here to DiGiacomo. Bramante, a big guy, but known to be a threat to steal on occasion. Bramante 5 for 6 on stolen base attempts. The pickoff attempt's no good. He's able to get back there safely. He's a big guy, 6'4", 220 pounds, but he is mobile, as I said. A lot of stolen bases, and also 10 doubles on the year. 1-0 pitch, and DiGiacomo wanted to go hold up on that pitch, but instead he can't hold up, breaks his wrist, and the count's 1-1. Middle infield in double play depth with 1 away in the top of the 4th, a tied ball game. Pickoff attempt over at first is no good, and Bramante able to get back there safely.
And this is another fundamental thing I'm noticing with the pickoff attempts. Jake Evans shading towards the second base bag to cover it in case the throw gets away, and you get this situation right here.
Pickle now for Joe Bramante. Throw over to second, and throw back over to first, and a tag out by Jake Evans. Expert pickle work there by the Flames defense, and the runner on base is retired and 2 away here in the top of the 4th.
Perfect execution, and it was right on cue when I was talking about Jake Evans' positioning on pickoffs, and it was perfect positioning, and it was perfect execution by the Flames defense all around to get the runner on base. Now 2 away in the inning.
You might very well be our own Tony Romo, Eric Moon, but now
I wouldn't go that far.
A changed situation now for DiGiacomo with 2 away, a 1-1 count. The fastball misses low, so 2 balls and a strike here. And now with no runners on base and 2 away, a different situation as he just needs to try to keep the inning alive as opposed to trying to advance the runner. 2-1 breaking ball is fouled behind home plate, a chopper to the backstop. So 2 balls and 2 strike, the count's evened up. Whereas the middle infield was playing in double play depth, now they're back to regular defensive positioning. Actually, a little bit of a shift with DiGiacomo, the left-handed hitter. He pokes that one the opposite way into the left center field gap. That drops for a base hit. He rounds first, but he'll put on the brakes and avoid going for 2. A 2-out single here for DiGiacomo. As I was mentioning the shift just myself, he pokes it the opposite way and gets on base.
Oh, that one was hit just not quite as well as you would expect, for a ball pretty deep into the left center field gap, but it was not hit as well. It was a good thing for the Generals because it dropped it from DiFilippo, and it was a big hop off the turf, but it was a good cutoff on that.
The first pitch to Jimmy Valenti is skied high into foul territory down the right side. The catch is made by Mike Stefan near the Generals' dugout, and that retires the side. A 3-P to end this inning. Heading into the bottom of the fourth, the Flames are tied with the Generals 1-1. I'm literally removing the audio input.
Okay.
I'm literally removing the input. Like, we're taking all measures. They can still hear us. Something's wrong. I think I turned it on for a brief second, maybe.
Yeah.
But we're taking all
If you guys
possible.
can still hear us, this is Flames Behind the Scenes. Brought to you by not sure what. Brought to you by Brandon Ross and I.
I'm going to text this person and ask if they can still hear us.
Yeah. That's very helpful, actually. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for letting us know, Flames fans.
Well, Joanne, if you can still hear us, come on, send it over. Oh my God, okay. Oh my.
I think that was just a coincidence. See?
Joanne, can you still hear us? Text yes if you can still hear us.
She already did.
No, I know you already sent it. I know you're on. Oh wait, hold on. It's on a delay. Hold on.
I know it's on the delay. Boom, boom. Here we go.
Okay. Bring it back in the bottom of the fourth inning. Flames now tied with the Rome Generals 1-1. It's A.J. DiFilippo to lead off here for Onondaga. First pitch from Gamlin is fouled back to the netting behind home plate. So DiFilippo behind the count 0-1. Gamlin out there for his fourth inning of work. So far, 1 hit, 1 run allowed. The 0-1's fouled back towards the netting again behind home plate. And so an 0-2 count here at DiFilippo. DiFilippo, a left-handed hitter, a slight middle infield shift as the second baseman Rob Gallagher playing in shallow right field, and Max Struthers shaded closer to second base. The 0-2 fastball in the dirt. And so a 1-2 count here.
And we'd like to extend a thank you to Joanne Dooley, who is AJ's mom, for letting us know about our technical difficulties between innings. We have exhausted pretty much almost all of our options to try and fix that problem. We'll see what we can do for you.
The 1-2 misses in the dirt. And now an even 2-2 count here on AJ DiFilippo. It's also possible we are getting it is a little bit delayed, the broadcast is, so maybe when we sent that message, she was still a couple minutes behind in the middle of the inning. So if she hears a break, we'll know, and hope you're listening to us now. The 2-2 is blooped into left field. That drops in front of DiGiacomo for a base hit. So AJ DiFilippo able to lead off the inning with a hit here.
And just to clarify, the technical issue that prevented the broadcast from going up at the start of the game was not the same issue as the one we are having here currently.
In fact, it's the exact opposite. At the start, we couldn't get the audio to work, and now it's working too well, and we can't turn it off, apparently. So now nobody out. Runner on first base. That brings up Jake Surratt, who struck out swinging his first time up. He was the third of 4 strikeout victims for Sean Gamlin tonight, as A.J. DiFilippo taking a short lead off of first base. Middle infield playing in, anticipating a double play opportunity. The first pitch is a breaking ball that cuts outside, and the count's 1-0. Surratt's been absent the last couple games. A few games ago, he was sick. Last couple games, he's got a little bit of rest as Trace Peterson, man behind the plate. But now back in the lineup today. Gilliland deals the 1-0. Fastball fouled right back into the mitt of Woody Woodruff there at home plate, and the count's 1-1.
And I wonder if he got some special medicine from Pikachu, who has returned to the Flames team, if I am correct about that.
That is right. Papa Flaheim, Jimmy Flaheim's dad, has brought a new Pikachu to us, courtesy of the Flaheim family. A pickoff attempt at first
Well,
is
to
no
the team,
good.
not us. It's the property of the team, not we, the broadcast interns.
Well, fair enough. Fair enough. We are representative of the team, though. 1-1 count here to Zarata. Pitch, foul tipped right back into the glove of Woody Woodruff. Another foul tip here for Jake Zarata, and the count's 1-2. Taking a lead off of first base now is A.J. DiFilippo. Growing ever so slightly. The 1-2 is fouled down the right side, but well out of play over to the trees outside the stadium. So still 1-2 count here. One, two. Here to Zarat, the pitch. Fastball misses up near his face. He's able to duck out of the way, and the count's even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, the Flames' very, very patient approach tonight. They've already run up Gamlin's pitch count to nearly 70 already. Gamlin's not going to last a whole lot longer in this game with the way the at-bats are going so far.
2-2. Breaking ball misses high, so a full 3-2 count here to Jake Zarat.
Yeah, his next pitch will be number 69 on the night. Not the nicest of pitch counts at this point in the game when you haven't even gotten the first out in the 4th inning.
It certainly isn't. Full count here to Jake Zarat, the payoff. Fastball driven down the right field line. Giving chase to that one is Kenny Michael. He watches that one sail foul. Didn't quite have the home run distance, but it was skied pretty deep into right field.
But it had enough hang time to be caught by the right fielder Kenny Michael if that was in fair territory. So a good piece of hitting by Zarat to foul it away, as that would have been a flyout, pretty deep flyout if it stayed in fair territory.
3-2 count. The fastball on 3-2 is driven deep into right field. Giving a few steps back is Kenny Michael. He makes the basket catch over his left shoulder. DiFilippo forced to retreat back to first base, and there's one away in the bottom of the 4th.
And off the bat, that one looked like it initially had a chance of getting over the head of Kenny Michael, but not quite as he caught it just in front of the track.
And now one away in the bottom of the 4th. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Nick Garcia. Garcia's first time up walked, so no official at-bat for him tonight. He came in as a defensive replacement in the last game against the Cheryl Silversmiths at third base for Jared Groskuth, who is not in the starting lineup tonight. First pitch to Garcia, fastball misses high, and the count's 1-0. Middle infield back in double play depth here as the sun's beginning to set out in left field here at OCC Stadium. The 1-0 is cut on and missed. A fastball catches Nick Garcia a little bit out in front, and the count's evened up at a ball and a strike. DiFilippo taking a moderate lead off of first base with one away in the bottom of the 4th. A tie 1-1 ball game between the Flames and Generals. Gamlin working out of the stretch, the 1-1. Caught on and missed. He couldn't get around that fastball on the outside corner, and the count's 1-2. Big effort here in the batter's box from Nick Garcia, the left-handed hitter against the righty Gamlin. No shift here from the infield or the outfield. 1-2, DiFilippo goes, swinging a miss, strike 3. The throw down to second, got him. So strike him out, throw him out to end the inning for the Rome Generals in the field. And hanging into the top of the 5th inning, still a tie 1-1 ball game here at OCC Stadium. And if you can still hear us, God bless you. I really don't know what the deal is. I really can't. There's literally no option left. We just have to be careful with what we say.
Very careful. Obviously not a problem for me, but for you, Brandon, that's going to be quite the challenge.
I have quite the mouth if you're still hearing me. There's literally... I've literally exhausted all options. There's literally no way they can still hear me. I just don't know. I just don't know.
But we're glad to hear that you guys enjoy the banter between innings from us.
Alright. Tell us when this inning ends. You've been a great sport. You know you're gonna be okay.
Get the top of the 5th on the bug.
Yeah. It's a party in the USA. Yeah.
still uploading this one to YouTube after the game.
I know.
And also remind me.
Okay, so she just got AJ thrown out stealing.
Yeah. Remind me after this game to get the Cheryl game and this one on my hard drive.
Yeah. I guess it.
It's the internal mic. It's got to be the internal mic on your.
Well, here's the thing. The internal mic is. Oh, she's got me saying. The internal mic is off. The internal mic is off. That's the thing. I don't understand. All right, whatever. You're up. Nope. Oh my.
Welcome back to Flames Baseball here on Team Line. Generals and Flames tied at 1 after 4 innings of play. Eric Moon, Brandon Ross with you tonight for a little longer than we've expected with our between the innings audio technical difficulties. Here's Mike Netzel with the first pitch of the 5th inning, and the fastball is up for ball 1. The count 1 ball and no strikes. Batter is the second baseman Rob Gallagher, 8-9-1, and the Rome order to begin this 5th inning. 1-0 to Gallagher's a fastball over the plate. Strike 1. The count evens up at a ball and a strike. Gallagher ripped one the other way to left center his last time. It went off the wall for his first double of the season. Ricky ball's in the dirt for ball 2. The count 2 balls and 1 strike. That was his second hit of the year and his first extra base hit. He was stranded at second base in that second inning. Third inning, rather. 2-1. Fastball on the upper inner corner. Strike 2. The count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The double was to lead off the 3rd inning. He's leading off the 5th. 2-2. Set up inside with Zurod, and a check swing foul goes back to the screen from Gallagher. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes as Netzel is at 69 pitches now. Throwing a bit in the Flames' pen now is Colin Matthews. He was throwing a bit on Sunday towards the end of the game as the breaking ball is low and in. Ball 3, and the count runs full down to 3 balls and 2 strikes. He pitched a scoreless 9th inning in his only appearance on the mound this year against the Rochester Richmond. 3-2 is a chopper right side, gloved by Stefan. He tosses it to Netzel at the bag. That is the first out of the inning on a 3-1 putout. 1 away, and that brings up the shortstop, Mac Struthers. Struthers 6 of 33 now on the season after a strikeout in the first inning. The strikeout was his 12th of the year in 33 official at-bats. First one to him from Netzel in this at-bat is a fastball high. Ball 1, the count 1 ball and no strikes. The issue for this Generals team in their losing streak and in the last 8 games in general has not been the hitting, though, as the fastball just misses the inside corner. 2 balls and no strikes. They scored a little more than 4 runs per game, which is about a run less than their season average. As the chopper is to the left side, gloved by Breinhardt. He throws the first in time for the out. 2 away on a pair of ground outs.
This has been Mike Netzel's expertise so far tonight, getting these quick outs, getting through these battles quickly. The 4th inning was a little bit of an aberration. He gave up a few big hits. But so far, he's working very efficiently out there on the mound.
And that brings up the top of the order, the center fielder, Matt Baker. First one to Baker. Pitches low and away. Ball 1, the count 1 ball and no strikes. So getting back to the team stats, so 4.2 runs per game on offensively in the last 8. Generals have lost 7 of their last 8 as the comebacker to the mound is gloved by Netzel. The throw is a little high, but Stefan snags it and touches the first base bag for the final out of the inning. Quickly, the Generals go down to 1-2-3. We're halfway home here on Team Line. Generals and Flames tied at 1 here on Independence Day.
We might as well just roll with the punches if we can't figure it out, right?
Hey, roll with punches. You know, let's have some fun.
Yeah, let's have some fun. Literally everything is off. Everything is off.
I'm wondering if other people think your singing's fine. I wouldn't endorse it.
Shh. Just carry on. Wait, hold on.
That's the phones.
Hold on.
Still the delay.
Because the thing is, that's what was the problem.
Mm-hmm.
When I was hitting phones, they couldn't hear me. When I clicked it back to main aux,
Yeah.
that could be our solution.
Yeah, we'll see.
Let's see what AJ's mom says here. Oh my god! Wait a minute and then tell me.
On the next edition of B. Ross Freaks Out, let's get her on the air before
Alright.
you respond.
Alright, fine.
Before you put on the headset.
Ooh.
Welcome back to Flames Baseball here on Team Line. Halfway home on Independence Day, Generals and Flames tied at 1. 8-9-1 in the Flames order in the bottom of the 5th inning, just like the Generals in the top half. Sean Gamblin on the bump for his 5th inning of work in tonight's start. Both starters pitching well as Gibbs swings and misses at a fastball to begin the bottom half of the 5th inning. Gibbs had a good at-bat his first time up. Worked the count full, fouled off a few extra pitches. Went about 9 or 10 pitches as the fastball just misses the outside corner, ball 1. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. Ended up popping out to the second baseman, Rob Gallagher, for the second out in the second inning. Like the offense has been stymied since the first, as the 1-1 breaking ball is blown away. 2 balls and a strike. They've gotten a couple base runners, one in each of the last 3 innings, but their run came in the first inning. Nothing since on the scoreboard. 2-1. Fastball lined over the head of the shortstop Struthers and into left center for a base hit. Reed Gibbs gets on base to lead off the 5th inning for the Flames. And for Gibbs, that is his 6th hit of the season. That brings up Jake Evans with his groovy walk-up song. I'm definitely asking about the walk-up song afterwards, which song that is, because I have no idea. Pretty groovy, though. I heard it on Sunday, and I thought, oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I mean, Jake seems to roll well with this song. He's doing not too bad as of late, getting a lot more playing time than at the start of the season.
First one to Evans this time up. And the fastball is lined foul to the netting, and his bat goes all the way to third base, just to the right of Jimmy Valenti, and he barely flinched at it. So Evans reaches out to try and foul it away, and the bat goes flying. Luckily, it wasn't a broken bat, though, because if a broken bat occurs and a big piece goes out towards the infield, that is dangerous stuff, to say the least. I remember a play all the way back. It was, I think, 2009. It was a game between the Red Sox and the Nationals. Elijah Dukes, way back when, broke his bat, and the barrel hopped towards the shortstop position. That's where Nick Green was playing for Boston. And it turned into a base hit. I can't remember if it was a base hit or an error, and the ball got by him because he had to hop out of the way of the barrel of the bat.
You know, sometimes that kind of thing can get a little bit out of hand, particularly when it comes to bats.
Throw over to first was not in time to get Reed Gibbs. 2 stolen bases on the year for Gibbs. He's 2 for 3 in that category. Off speed found the inside corner. No balls, 2 strikes to Evans, as Gamblin is up to 80 pitches now in his outing. Nobody warming up in the Rome pen, though, because he's pitching pretty well out there right now. 0-2. Swing and a miss at the high fastball. Evans goes down on 3 pitches, and there's 1 away here in the 5th. The runner remains at first base, and that brings up the top of the order. Here is Jack Cherno. He is 0 for 1 on the night, but he came around to score the Flames' only run. Way back in the first inning, reached on the leadoff walk and scored on the RBI sac fly for Brian Hart.
If you're Cherno's biggest goal is to move the runner over and avoid becoming the 7th strikeout victim of Sean Gamblin tonight.
He has been dealing since his first inning. Runner goes, pitches foul tipped off the mitt of the catcher, Woody Woodruff. So Reed Gibbs has to go back to first base, and the hit and run opportunity goes away because the Generals are expecting it now.
Sometimes it's more strategic that if you don't change your plans, because usually a lot of times teams will anticipate, once it's noticed that you're going to shy away from your plans. Sometimes it's easy to keep them off guard a little bit and stick with your plans, even though they've already seen it in action once.
Throw to first was not in time to get Gibbs. Not even a tag applied by the first baseman, Joe Bravante. 0-1 count to Cherno out of Columbia University. Here is the 0-1, and the off-speed pitch stays high for ball one. The count evens up at a ball and a strike. Jimmy Valenti, the third baseman, is anticipating bunt still, knowing that Cherno is a speedy base runner too. If he gets that bunt down, a potential for a base hit every time. So Valenti preparing for a potential bunt. Here's the 1-1. The late steal from Gibbs, and Cherno fouls it back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cherno on Monday went 3 for 4 against the Silversmiths, and he scored a few runs. The 3 for 4 day brought up his average 30 points, approximately 30 points. He was in the 290s. Now he's hitting 324 on the year, up there with the team leaders on this Flame squad. 1-2 is a jam shot foul off the netting just behind home plate. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Righty warming up in the Flames pen, that is Casey Kretsch. Haven't seen him since his first start of the season last week.
He was set to come in relief for Gunnar Grome at Sherrill. Gunnar Grome ended up getting the complete game after, when he was set to come on in the bottom of the 6th, the game got rained out. The game was complete, though, and the Flames ended up coming away with the 15-2 win.
So it was a 5-inning complete game for Gunnar in the 5.5-inning game. Runner goes before the pitch, and Cherno hits a fly ball down the left side. It drops well out of the reach of the left fielder, Di Giacomo, and the third baseman, Valenti. No chance of getting to that one, and Gibbs has to go back to first base once again on another hit and run. So bad luck on the hit and runs, as Cherno has fouled off both pitches that he's received. Not very hittable pitches from Gamelin, but a good job by Cherno just to foul him away so Gibbs doesn't get caught stealing potentially. Had quite the jump on that one too, before Gamelin, even a split second before Gamelin began his windup, Gibbs started going to second base. He had it stolen right off the bat. Meeting ends between the catcher Woodruff and the pitcher Gamelin at the request of the home plate umpire because it was going just a little too long. And Cherno steps back in the box with a 1-2 count. And when he's starting to become a bit of a lengthy at-bat, he's fouled off a couple pitches with 2 strikes already. Here's a 1-2 from the righty, and the fastball is popped up left side towards foul territory. Di Giacomo has a read on it, and he makes the catch. Back to first base goes Reed Gibbs, and that's the second out of the inning. That brings up the first baseman, Mike Stefan, who, like a few Flames hitters tonight, is over 2 rather. Though he did reach on a fielder's choice and an error in that first inning. Struck out swinging in the third. The run in the first inning to Gamelin is unearned, however, because Cherno would have been out at second base if the throw from Gamelin was on target. And the sac fly for Brian Hart was out number 2 in the inning. Throw down to first is not in time to get Gibbs. The pitch was high for ball 1, meanwhile. 1 ball and no strikes to Stefan.
So wait, are you telling me that any out after what would have been out number 3, given the error? I thought it was just when the error would have been out number 3.
It's not always when the error would have been out number 3. If a guy reaches base due to an error,
but he didn't reach base due to an error. He was already on base.
This is one exception where an error that results in another base, which is not because it resulted in another base, as the pitch is inside, 2 balls and no strikes. It's because the error
would have equaled an out on the base pass. It was a fielder's choice. Stefan would have been on first anyway, but the error was not an out at second base. And Brian Hart's RBI sac fly would have been out number 3 if that out was made. Pitch is outside for ball 3. The count 3 balls and no strikes. I might be getting that confused. It might still be an earned run just because Cherno did reach base on a walk. We'll see how it was scored officially after the game. 3-0 to Stefan, and he takes a fastball well high for ball 4. 4-pitch walk, and 2 runners are on with 2 away here in the 5th. Here's Ernie Girachi with another big RBI opportunity. He's gotten a few with this Flames squad already. Both came on the road. He has gotten an at-bat or two, at least 2 at-bats with the bases loaded. And so far this season, he has driven in 2 during his 5 games, and he's also scored a run. Officially 3 for 11 at the plate so far this year, batting just a little below 300 in his few at-bats. Big lead on second by Gibbs. First one at Girachi. Breaky balls in the dirt, blocked beautifully by Woody Woodruff. 1 ball and no strikes. That's pitch number 92 from Gamlin, but still nobody up in the Rome pen. So they're going to let him stick around here for a little bit, even with the high pitch count. Big lead again by Gibbs at second, trying to be a distraction. And the fastball is inside for ball 2. The count 2 balls and no strikes. As Gamlin, a little concerning late in his outing tonight, has missed with 6 consecutive pitches.
His pitch count has been getting run up late in this ball game, and so it's not too unexpected that his accuracy will decline as well.
Fakes the pickoff to second base this time, but nobody was there. He just forced Reed Gibbs back to the bag and came off the mound. We're keeping a hawk eye on the Rome bullpen, expecting somebody to get up, but sometimes you see pitchers go about 30 pitches more when they're at 90. Some go to 120 sometimes. 2-0 fastball is low for ball 3. The count 3 balls and no strikes. But the way Gamlin is pitching at the moment, you would not expect to see that at all.
You also have to acknowledge that a lot of these pitchers are under the mercy of inning limits set by their college coaches, so Gamlin may just have a lot of innings left to work with this summer.
He's at nearly 5 innings tonight, and the 3-0 fastball is a get-me-over for strike 1. And he hits the zone for the first time since getting Cherno to fly out in foul territory 2 batters ago. Girachi tonight is 1 for 2. Struck out swinging in the first inning. Reached on a single in the third. 3-1. Fastball well outside, and it gets by Woodruff to the backstop. No harm, though, at the moment. Gibbs took the turn around third base, but he holds up there. So on the walk by Girachi, the bases are now loaded with 2 away for Brian Hart. And that brings out the pitching coach, Evan Bertone, for the Rome Generals to talk with the entire general infield, as well as catcher Woody Woodruff and the pitcher Sean Gamlin.
And if you're Sean Gamlin, this is a particularly dangerous situation considering Brian Hart is tied for the lead on the team with RBIs with 20 so far on the year.
And he drove in the Soul Flames run in this game with a sac fly in the first inning. So he is a good situational hitter. That's certainly a given when you look at his RBI total. 20 on the year, tied for first on the team with A.J. DiFilippo.
Not to mention a pair of extra base hits in the last game against the Sherrill Silversmiths, a double and a home run in the first inning.
And he's been known to hit it to the gaps just a little bit here at OCC. Last Tuesday against the Saltcats, twice in that game, he hit a lawn fly ball to left field that one hopped the wall. One bounced over the wall, the other did not. And he steps in here with the bases loaded and 2 away against Sean Gamlin. First one from the righty in this at-bat is a pitch low and in the dirt. Hart says hold up to Reed Gibbs. It's ball 1, the count 1 ball, no strikes. And the way Gamblin's pitching at the moment, it seems more likely, if the Flames are going to score a run, that it would come on a wild pitch than a base hit or by Brian Hart, and more likely to see a walk, perhaps. 1-0. Fastball is on the outside corner this time. Strike one, the count evens up at a ball and a strike. That's after 8 of the last 9 pitches from Gamblin have missed the zone. Gamblin has to sign ready to deal the 1-1. Big hole in center field behind the pitcher, and the fastball is in the upper third of the zone. Brian Hart doesn't like the call. Says the zone should be a little lower than that. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Next pitch here from Gamblin will be number 100 on his night. There is a righty warming up in the Rome bullpen. As Hart steps back in with a 1-2 count against the Rome starting pitcher. Gibbs with a big lead off third. The 1-2 is popped up right side. Going towards it is the first baseman, Bramante, but that's going to get foul and out of play. And hits the stairs. Actually, rather a bleacher just above the Rome dugout. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Can't tell who the right-handed pitcher is for the Rome Generals. Can't really see the number on the back of his jersey. That's the indicator to us. As the 1-2 to Hart is fouled away to the right side again. A ball and 2 strikes. The count remains. And an argument you can make about the Flames' offense is that their patient approach, it's a great approach, but it doesn't always work for these guys. As the 1-2 to Hart is popped up behind home plate, going after his Woody Woodruff. He might have a play, but it gets out of play. Into the bleachers just behind home plate. 2 rows into the seats. And another foul ball by Brian Hart. And you can argue that because the Flames' offense exploded in the last 4 games with a partly aggressive approach. You would see a lot of extra base hits that came early in the count when they got a pitch to hit. One, 2 from Gamblin. Swana missed the breaky ball in the dirt. Woodruff tags home plate, and that retires the side. So the Flames strand the bases loaded, and the game remains tied after 5 innings of play here on Independence Day. Welcome back to Flames Baseball here on Team Line. Started the 6th inning between the Generals and the Flames. Score is tied at 1 run apiece. Interesting discussion between innings. We don't know what it's about, but Mike Cordero talked to the home plate umpire who about something, and then he went out to the field umpire. The umpires had a discussion. Now, just at the moment, the head coach for the Generals, Cole Mortozek, talking to the home plate umpire. We don't know what it is up here, but we'll see. Oh, nice snag by Netzel on the comebacker from Woody Woodruff, and that is the first out of the inning on the throw over to first. How about the comebacker? Netzel playing his position beautifully, and that's the first out. Time to take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard in the NYCBL. 6 games, all 12 teams in the league playing today. 4 of the games final already. 10 teams playing as Kenny Michael pops it up into right field. Ernie Girachi has a read on it, and he makes the catch. 2 pitches and 2 outs here in the 6th inning. And that brings up the DH, Jonel Ozuna. Wellsville Nitros and the Niagara Power out of West played a doubleheader today that began at 3:30. Power got the best of the Nitros in Game 1 by the score of 4-3. In Game 2, the Power again overpowered the Nitros 10-1. And also out of West, the Olean Oilers defeat the Genesee Rapids 8-5. Fastball's on the outside corner, strike 1. The count is 0-1. So the Power is now above 500 at 15-14 on the year. The Nitros down to 17-11. As the pitch missed low for ball 1, the count evens up at a ball and a strike after Netzel's 80th pitch of the night. Olean improves to 14-12, extending their winning streak. As a 1-1 to Ozuna is a breaky ball that just misses. 2 balls and a strike. And the Genesee Rapids fall to 13-12 on the season. So the Oilers pass the Rapids for the final playoff spot in the West for now. As Ozuna swings and misses at a breaky ball in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. But what matters most to the Flames is what's going on in the East. And here it is. First up, the big one. The Syracuse Spartans lost again tonight. As the breaky ball's outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. They fell 8-3 to the Cortland Crush. And they're 14-11 on the year. A full game back of the Flames. So the Flames, win or lose tonight, cannot lose the division lead. 3-2 gets Ozuna looking meanwhile. A fastball froze him at the plate, and that retires the side. We'll finish up the out-of-town scoreboard when we return here on Team Line. This is Flames Baseball. Welcome back to Flames Baseball here on Team Line, set to begin the bottom of the 6th inning between the Generals and the Flames. 5, 6, 7 in the order. Here is the left fielder, A.J. DiFilippo, with the High Sox tonight. Usually he doesn't show the red socks that the Flames players wear. As meanwhile on the mound, Sean Gamblin returns for his 6th inning of work at tonight's start. He's already at 103 pitches. As the first one, DiFilippo, has popped up left side, going after 3 Generals, and that one drops foul, and 1 hops the fence. Against the fence, rather. It's strike 1, the count, no balls, and a strike. So finishing up the NYCBL out-of-town scoreboard from the last half inning, the lone other game in the East Division tonight was in Sherrill. It has not been finalized on point streak, but from the looks of it, the Sherrill Silversmiths have defeated the Syracuse Saltcats 14-10 out in Sherrill with that small ballpark. A lot of offense we've seen. So with the win, the Silversmiths would improve to 14-11 as the breaking ball hits the lower third of the zone. Strike two, the count 0-2 to DiFilippo. So the Silversmiths and the Spartans, if that result is final, are now tied for second in the division, a game back of the Flames. 0-2, DiFilippo grounds it hard towards short, snagged by Struthers. The long throw to first is one hop that gets by Bramante. DiFilippo decides to hold up at first base, and the Flames have a leadoff base runner on the throw-in error by Max Struthers. Here's Jake Zurot, the catcher. He's 0 for 2 on the night with a strikeout and a flyout to right. So taking a look at the division now, the Flames, we just mentioned, a one-game lead on the Silversmiths and the Spartans. Behind them, the Cortland Crush at 12-14. Syracuse Saltcats a game back of the Crush at 11-15. The Crush back of the Silversmiths now by 2.5 games. Both teams won tonight. And the Rome Generals in last place at 10-16. Fastball is inside for ball one. The count 1 no strikes. And in the West, the Wellsville Nitros still have a lead in the division after 2 losses today, but still it's only a 1-game lead now in the Rochester Ridgemen. Game back of the Ridgemen is the Olean Oilers, as throw to first is not in time. And half a game back of the Oilers are the Genesee Rapids of the Niagara Power for the final spot in the West. Hornell Dodgers at 6-18 are in last place. 1-0 fastball in the outside corner. Ball and a strike in this at-bat to Jake Zurot. As a righty continues to warm up in the Rome bullpen. Another pitcher as well beginning to toss a little bit out there down the right field line. Here's a 1-1. Fastball fouled back to the net by Zurot. A ball and 2 strikes, as this next one will be pitch number 110 by Gamelin tonight. So we mentioned the Generals have lost 7 of their last 8 games to fall out of the race momentarily for the playoffs in the Eastern Division. They're not too far back that they're out of it. No team is out of it at this point. Throw over to first, not in time to get DiFilippo. But they have, in those 8 games, their only win came against the Hornell Dodgers, who are 6-18 on the year. As Zurot grounds it right side, snagged beautifully by Bramante. The throw to second is in time. Back to first, not in time. The foot wasn't even on the bag from the pitcher, Gamelin. So a 3-6 fielder's choice for the first out, and a good job by the Generals to get the lead runner. That brings up the DH Nick Garcia in the same situation. With just one additional out on the scoreboard. Garcia 0 for 1 on the night with a walk and a strikeout. But the Generals are still sort of a wild card to the Flames when it comes to both teams' divisional chances, because after tonight, still 4 more meetings between the 2 teams. As the fastball is outside for ball 1, the count 1 no strikes. In the first 2 meetings, the Flames absolutely destroyed General pitching with 15 runs in the first game, and then on Sunday, 14 runs in that game. Here's a 1-0 to Garcia, and the fastball is way up and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. If you're Buzz Lightyear, you want to go up and away, but if you're a pitcher, you certainly don't. As the count is now 2-0 to Garcia. Good hitters count here. Next time these teams will play is Sunday night from Rome, as the throw over to first is not in time. They're meeting on an average of every 4 or 5 days. 4 days from now, they play. 5 days after that, another game. 4 days later, another game. 4 days later, another game, as the fastball is high for ball 3. And the count is now 3 balls and no strikes to Garcia. And only one more meeting here at OCC. This is the second of 3. That game will be... Rather, there are no other games here at OCC because the Flames only have one more home contest against the Generals. Fastball in the upper third of the zone, 3 balls and a strike. The one home game, the Flames will be in Cooperstown. It'll be the annual Cooperstown game, which we have found out we are now able to broadcast. So July 17th, expect to hear us at 1:30. Fastball just misses the inside corner for ball 4. 2 runners on and 1 away as the Flames are trying to get the lead once again. They loaded the bases last inning, and they just can't break down the door yet. They can't get back on the scoreboard, but they're certainly trying out there. As here's Reed Gibbs, the second baseman, who's 1 for 2 tonight. Just not quite able to break free since that first inning of play. As the Generals continue to warm up, 2 pitchers down in the bullpen, 2 righties. First one to Gibbs from Gamelin. Fastball well outside. Ball 1, the count, 1 ball and no strikes. This is the third turn in the order for the Flames batting. And so far, Gamelin has served 3 walks during this turn before, in the first 2 times through the order, 2 total. He has struck out 1 batter. He has forced a flyout and also a runner reached on error, plus fielder's choice. As Gibbs pops it up right side of the infield, Bramante and Gallagher going after it. Bramante calls it and makes the catch. Infield fly rule was called before that by the umpires, and that is the second out of the inning, and the runners will stay where they are. Here's a pinch hitter for the Flames, and it's McLean O'Connor in the game now for Jake Evans. And O'Connor, well, he had a pretty good day against the Cheryl Silversmiths on Monday. Pretty good inning, to be specific, for the most part. Drove in 6, and of those 6 RBIs, 5 came in the first inning. He had 2. He was the star for the Flames in their 10-run first inning against Cheryl because he hit a leadoff home run, and then with the bases loaded later in the inning when he got a second at-bat, went the other way again for a grand slam, the first one of the year by the Flames. That's first one to O'Connor. It's a fastball that's inside for ball 1. The count, 1 ball and no strikes. And Mike Cordero brings in his first player off the bench tonight, trying to spark something in the offense after the Flames have scored a little more than 13 runs per game in the last 4. 2 of those games against these Generals. 1-0, O'Connor pops it up right side. Bramante racing after it. He makes the catch in foul territory, and that will retire the side. Flames strand 2 more here in the 6th inning. That is a grand total of 8 runners left on so far in this game. 1-1 between the Generals and the Flames after 6 innings of play here on Team Line.
Welcome back to the top of the 7th inning here at OCC Stadium. Flames still tied with the Rome Generals 1-1 as Mike Netzel getting ready for his 7th inning of work on the mound. It'll be the cleanup hitter Joe Bramante to lead off. A couple defensive changes here for the Onondaga Flames as the first pitch for Bramante is fouled out of play down the right field line. After pinch hitting for Jake Evans last inning, McLean O'Connor is a straight substitution at shortstop. And Jack Cherno is done for the day in center field. He is replaced by Adam Gordon. And Netzel from the windup, the 0-1. It's a breaking pitch that misses outside, so the count evens up at a ball and a strike.
And when you see substitutions in Summer League ball, it's always to get some other guys some playing time, but also Mike Correo's just trying to spark the offense right now.
1-1 pitch misses outside, so the count's now 2 balls and a strike to Bramante, who has not been retired so far today. He reached on a walk his last time up and singled back in inning number 2. He was, however, a pickoff victim back in the 4th. The 2-1 fastball misses high, so 3 balls and a strike, a true hitter's count here to Joe Bramante. Bramante, as I've mentioned, the true Ironman of this Generals team, hasn't missed a game so far this season. The 3-1's ripped into left field, giving chase coming in is DiFilippo, but that'll land in front of him for a base hit and get past him out there in left field. And Bramante able to walk into second base standing, so it'll be a single and an E7, and Bramante's on second base in scoring position with no one out in the top of the 7th.
And that hop looked just like the bad hop that Adam Gordon got in center field against Sherrill on Monday. That's one you described as one of those baseballs, that guys use to try and work on, corralling bouncing balls, and it was a bad hop off the turf that just got by DiFilippo.
And pitching coach Robert Anders out now to talk with Mike Netzel. He's been out there for a long time today. He's done a spectacular job. This is his longest outing so far this season, and it looks like pitching coach Roger Anders will go to the bullpen as Mike Netzel is done after 6+ innings of work. We'll tell you who's in when we come back here on Team Line. New pitcher on for the Onondaga Flames. It's Jimmy Flahive coming in for Mike Netzel, whose line score as of now is 6+ innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, 1 earned run as of right now. If Joe Bramante comes around to score, that will be 2 for Mike Netzel. Jimmy Flahive, a very much a shutdown pitcher this year. the league leader in ERA, .91, recently named to the All-Star team.
Not necessarily a power pitcher on the mound, though he does have the powers of Pikachu, it seems, out there the way he's pitching so far this season.
Very effective. First base charging in. It's a ground ball over to second. Mike Stefan hustling back over to first to cover for the out. So now one away here in the top of the 7th inning. Runner advances to third base, and the run to take the lead for the Generals just 90 feet away.
DiGiacomo decided to pull back in the butt, but it worked out the same for the Generals, and now the Flames need an unproductive out.
So one away, runner on third, 90 feet from scoring. The entire infield's in. That brings up Jimmy Valenti as Flahive deals the first pitch. A foul ball down the first baseline on the ground, caught by the first base coach.
He brought his silky mitts tonight. And Brandon stares at me in disappointment, as always.
So the count's now 0-1 here to Jimmy Valenti, who was 0 for 2 on the night. A swinging strikeout in the second, and a pop-up caught by Mike Stefan in foul territory back in the 4th. Flahive a lefty side armor against the right-handed Hemi of the lefty, the 0-1. Caught on and foul tipped back into the mitt of Jake Surratt. So quickly behind in the count, 0-2 here is Jimmy Valenti.
And this is what you get with Flahive on the mound. He keeps runs from scoring because he throws strikes. And he throws unhittable strikes especially. That's how he gets batters out.
0-2 pitch, fastball way inside, plunks Jimmy Valenti, and he's going to walk over to first base. So now runners on first and third. A little bit of a silver lining, though, as a double play opportunity is now in effect.
That is the silver lining, and also the run you're worrying about right now is the guy at third base. You're not worrying about the runner at first base right now, but it's not like the bottom of the 9th inning where, that's the winning run at third base and the other runners don't matter. But this is one of those situations where you worry more about the runner at third base, but you also try to use that runner on first to try and get out of the inning without giving up the tie, rather.
So the first and third situation with one away here for Rob Gallagher as the first pitch breaking ball catches the outside corner. The count's 0-1. Gallagher 1 for 2 today, doubled back in the 3rd inning, got stranded out there, and then in the 5th inning he grounded out to first. So Gallagher, a left-handed hitter against the lefty Flahive. A pickoff attempt over at first, and now caught in a pickle is Jimmy Valenti. The throw over to second, and able to tag him out is McLean O'Connor. Stellar defensive effort by the Onondaga Flames, as not even trying to score is Joe Bramante at first, and now 2 away. And Joe Bramante rather stays on third base. He got hung up there. He didn't even make an effort to score.
That is a huge play for the Flames to get that second out, but it's a bit of a break, too, because I was surprised Bramante didn't even attempt to go home, but I was looking at the eyes of Mike Stefan and McLean O'Connor, and that's why, because they were looking him off and keeping him there.
On Gallagher is fouled back to the netting behind home plate, so Gallagher really behind in the count now, 0-2, Flahive with 3 balls to work with.
Yeah, and going back to the pickoff play, technically a caught stealing, of course, that's just fantastic fundamental baseball, smart baseball plays by O'Connor and Stefan.
The 0-2 breaking ball misses outside. The count's 1-2. Jimmy Flahive, known to be a pitcher with nasty breaking pitches. That one, a very solid attempt to try to get Gallagher to chase, but he does not give out of the zone. A 1-2 count now as the infield returns to regular defensive positioning with 2 away. The 1-2 breaking pitch again misses outside, so now an even 2-2 count here to Gallagher with 2 away. Still a 1-1 ball game with the run to take the lead 90 feet away for the Generals.
And the advantage for Jimmy Flahive here is he's facing a left-handed batter, so it's difficult for a lefty to see that pitch.
2-2 breaking ball again misses outside. Gallagher again doesn't give chase, so no more pitches to waste here for Jimmy Flahive. It's now a full 3-2 count.
And if he wants to stick with the breaking ball, he might try and do something backdoor, but it's a little risky if he hangs the breaking ball.
Jimmy known to be someone to try to paint the corners. Another breaking ball on 3-2, misses outside for ball 4, so Gallagher will trot over to first. It'll be first and third again, but this time with 2 away, so no real regard for the runners on base, just focus on the batter, as it'll be a pinch hitter here for the Rome Generals in number 16, Anthony Perino. Perino will be pinch hitting for the shortstop Max Struthers. Perino was the starting shortstop in the last outing between these two teams. Perino, though, not a stellar defensive player. He committed 4 errors in the first 2 games between these two squads.
Yeah, 2 throwing errors on Sunday here at OCC.
First pitch is a fastball, check swing, but it was in the strike zone anyway, so the count's 0-1. Flahav looks over to first, keeping Gallagher close. The 0-1's lined foul right in the direction of the Generals' bullpen, goes off the fence. So 0-2 hole here for Anthony Perino. Perino, a player out of Daytona State College, a very highly regarded junior college in Daytona Beach, Florida. Originally a native of downstate New York, Locust Valley to be exact, as he's gunned down on strikes. A swinging strikeout, the first of the night for Jimmy Flahive, certainly not his first of the season, and he's able to get out of the inning without allowing any runs. So the final line score for Mike Netzel, 6+ innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. Heading to bottom 7. Flames are tied with the Generals 1-1. Bottom of the 7th inning here at OCC Stadium. Still a tie ball game between these two teams. After pinch hitting the last inning for Max Struthers, Anthony Perino straight substitutes at short, and it'll be the top of the order to lead off here for the Onondaga Flames, as the first pitch to Adam Gordon is a called strike, and the count's 0-1. Gordon went in the field last inning, replacing Jack Cherno, who finishes the day 0-for-2 with a walk. The 0-1 pitch is a called strike yet again, so Gordon quickly behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes.
Not many fireworks on the field today, unless you consider fireworks to be strikeouts from pitchers, because we've seen a lot of those, but a little bit in the distance to right field.
The 0-2 pitch misses low and away in the dirt. So the count 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Adam Gordon, who is certainly one of the better hitters on this team, hitting .325 heading into today. 4 doubles and 2 triples, known to get things started, as that one's ripped down the right field one, and that one's getting towards the wall, and that one is gone. Finally, some hitting fireworks here for the Onondaga Flames. It's now a 2-1 ball game.
Well, there's some fireworks, and I tell you what, it's been a long time coming for Adam Gordon, because he has shown off that pop for a long time now with this team. He's hit at least 3 home run distance fly balls down the right field line, and now he hits this one, and I knew right off the bat that one was going out of here because that was whacked.
First home run of the season for Adam Gordon, 16th run batted in, now a 2-1 lead for the Onondaga Flames. A pinch hit home run here for Adam Gordon, and now that brings up the 2-hitter Mike Stefan with a chance to add on to this newly found lead, as it's now Joe Pascucci on the mound who allowed that first run here in this inning. The first pitch is bunted foul behind home plate, so the count's 0-1. And Pascucci giving up runs to the Onondaga Flames is not a new theme for this ball club. He came in relief in the second inning in the first matchup between these two teams and surrendered 7 runs in the second inning of that matchup.
And he's the commanding officer of sorts with this Rome General squad because he is the only returning player from last season.
0-1 pitch misses outside, so the count's 1-1 as Eric's trying to make a few Air Force puns as the Rome Generals do play at the old, now defunct Griffiths Air Force Base. If you ever visit the place at Lara DeLutis Field, there is still a B-52 bomber out in center field. The 1-1 is a fastball missing outside, so 2 balls and a strike to Stefan, who enters this at-bat 0 for 2 on the day. A fielder's choice, a looking strikeout, and a walk back in the 5th. 2-1 skied high down the left side into foul territory over near the Flames bullpen, but making the catch camping under it is Jimmy Valenti, and there will be one away here in the bottom of the 7th rather. And so that brings up Ernie Giraci, who is 1 for 2 on the day, a strikeout back in the first, a single in the third, and he walked in his last at-bat, or rather plate appearance, since it's not a recorded at-bat, back in inning number 5.
He's had a pretty good night so far. 2 of his 3 play appearances, he's gotten on base, a hit and a walk.
Time is called here as Woody Woodruff, the catcher, goes out to meet with Pascucci on the mound. Pascucci went in for the long haul against the Flames on Friday, gave a lot of the runs in that first inning. He was responsible for a lot of earned runs that day, but he went a long haul and kept fighting. He's a guy that's not really deterred by allowing a lot of runs. He keeps persisting even if he's not succeeding. So that's an asset that could certainly help him, even though he's now given up the run and surrendered the lead to the Onondaga Flames.
Well, as a pitcher, you always have to have a short-term memory, sometimes as a hitter too. And Pascucci, he got Stefan to pop out in the last at-bat, so he has shown that he can have a short memory.
First pitch to Ernie Giraci is fouled on a line down the first baseline, so quickly Giraci behind in the count 0-1.
And I noticed as Giraci was stepping up to the plate, Mike Cordero was looking at his lineup card, so expect more substitutions a little later in this ballgame, maybe this inning.
0-1, breaking ball finds the zone. Killer 12-6 curve there from Pascucci on the mound, and the count's 0-2. Pascucci working very tenuously out there on the mound. The 0-2 fastball misses low, and now a 1-2 count here on Giraci. He stays alive in this at-bat. And with that Adam Gordon home run, that's now the 4th home run hit this year at OCC Stadium. That breaks the record from last season where there were only 3 hit all year, and in more games nonetheless. The 1-2 pitch, a breaking ball, misses outside. So an even 2-2 count here to Giraci with 1 away.
Well, 4 by the Flames, and now they have 10 on the year after hitting 4 against Sherrill on Monday.
2-2. Breaking ball cuts just inside of the zone. Almost got there, but didn't quite cut as far as Pascucci was looking for it. So now it's a full 3-2 count after originally being an 0-2 count on Ernie Giraci. Pascucci almost working his way back to a walk. The 3-2 is a cut on and miss. Giraci swung at a pitch well out of the zone, and he's not happy with himself. He knew that was a ball, and now 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th inning. That is the first strikeout of the night for Joe Pascucci, and that'll bring up the 4-hitter Brian Hart.
Well, Giraci's approach on that last pitch was, he's got to throw me a strike. It looked like a strike coming out of the hand, but it'd have some off-speed movement low and away, and Giraci missed it as a result for strike 3.
And 2 away, base is empty for Brian Hart. He shows bunt, pulls back, and that one misses, and the count's 1-0. Brian Hart heading into this at-bat 0 for 2, a swinging strikeout, a pop out to second base, but also a sacrifice fly back in the first inning that was responsible for the only run of the game for the Flames before this inning as he show bunts again and pulls back yet again, so it's a 2-0 count.
Oh, I see a little more fireworks in foul territory down the left field line, well in the distance from up here in the press box.
2-0 from Pascucci. Is a fastball misses outside again, so 3 balls and no strikes here to Brian Hart with 2 away. In the bottom of the 7th inning, Flames now up 2-1 after the Adam Gordon home run. And speaking of fireworks, there's a lot of fireworks going off today. It is the 4th of July, the celebration of the American independence. Also, watch out in left field possibly for some Syracuse Chiefs fireworks if they finish before us, as the 3-0 pitch catches the upper third of the plate on the fastball. So now a strike here on the count to Brian Hart. It's 3-1.
We have no idea how that game is going, but the way this one is, Flames might be done before that.
3-1 pitch misses low for ball 4. So Brian Hart's on first with 2 away, and that brings up A.J. DiFilippo, the left fielder, who enters this at bat 1 for 3 with a single, a reach on an error, and a strikeout to his name. He got stranded on second base last inning. He's actually gunned down there on the fielder's choice after reaching on the throwing error by the shortstop then, Max Struthers. First pitch is cut on and missed out of the zone, and the count's 0-1 here to DiFilippo. DiFilippo, a left-handed hitter against the righty Pascucci with 2 away. Runners going, and it's a hit-and-run attempt, but that's fouled over near the Flames dugout. So quickly behind the count, 0-2 here, A.J. DiFilippo.
And we've seen that hit and run a lot tonight, called by Mike Cordero. Again, he's just trying to spark the offense. Yes, the Flames got the lead on the home run by Gordon, but it was a home run. It's one hit. He's trying to get a rally going. He's trying to help his team get the rally going.
Some more fireworks out in center field starting up as that one is grounded over to left, as going over to his left is Perino, and he makes a throw as a big stretch at first from Joe Bramante to record the out. Stellar splits there, and stellar flexibility from the first baseman Joe Bramante to retire the side. The Flames put up a run on the Adam Gordon home run, and heading into the top of the 8th inning, it's 2-1. Top of the 8th inning here at OCC Stadium. Flames now out to a 2-1 lead after the Adam Gordon home run in the bottom of the 7th. A few changes in the field. Nick Garcia was the designated hitter, now the pitcher. So the designated hitter is now off the table for the Onondaga Flames. And a couple other changes as Colin Matthews goes into right field for Ernie Geraci. And going in at second base for Reed Gibbs is Jared Groskuth, but now a couple other changes, as now Brian Hart at third base and Groskuth are switching places on us. So now it'll be Jared Groskuth playing third base, and Brian Hart is going to shift over to second. And here for the Rome Generals to lead off, it'll be the 9-hitter. Excuse me, not the 9-hitter. My apologies. It'll be the top of the order in Matt Baker to lead off as the first pitch misses for ball 1. 1-0. Pitch misses outside, so an even 1-2, actually rather, my apologies, a 2-0 count here to Matt Baker. Baker so far hasn't gotten on base yet. A pop out, a ground out back to the pitcher, and batter's interference. 2-0 pitch misses outside, count now 3-0, a chance to get on base here. And that batter's interference was interesting. He bunted it down the first base line. He ran a little bit too much in fair territory, and it got a piece of him And since he was, by that point, out of the batter's box, he was called out. 3-0 pitch is right over the plate, and the count's 3-1. Garcia now on the mound for the Onondaga Flames, named to the All-Star team on Monday as a pitcher. He hasn't thrown that many innings, so he's not eligible for the league leaderboard, but still an ERA below 1 through over 9 innings of work as the 3-1 pitch misses inside for ball 4, and Matt Baker trots over to first with nobody on. Or rather, with nobody out. And so 1 on, no away. That brings up Woody Woodruff, the catcher. Woodruff so far also 0 for 3, similar to Baker heading into his last at-bat. Ground out to short, a swinging strikeout, and a ground out back to the pitcher. And Matt Baker, ever a threat to steal, 12 for 13 on the season in stolen base attempts. Jared Groskuth playing in at third base. The first pitch is a fastball, catches the upper third, and barely on the outside corner, so the count's 0-1 here to Woodruff to start the at-bat. Middle infield now in double play depth, also anticipating a possible steal from Baker, who's only been gunned down once this season. The throw over to first to try to get him ahead of himself, and it's not in time. Garcia is a two-way player for this Onondaga Flames squad as Jake Zarat goes out to talk to him on the mound. Has been used sort of in both roles, about an equal amount. He hasn't spent more of one place in the other. He's not mainly a pitcher as Casey Kretsch is, or mainly a fielder and hitter as Mike Netzel is. But still, he's getting a fair shake at both positions. He hasn't played that many games in the field, but he does well when he does. And he hasn't had that many appearances on the mound. And when he's out there, he just does stellar. And Woodruff finally back in the batter's box as Zarat returns to the catcher's box in front of the home plate umpire. Groskuth still playing in, anticipating a possible bunt here. 0-1. Fastball right over the zone, and quickly Woodruff behind in the count 0-2. Playing close to the bag at short is McLean O'Connor. It looks like he'll be the one to cover if Matt Baker decides to steal, and he does steal. The 0-2 goes away from Jake Zarat on the outside pitch. Going around to third is Matt Baker. The throw from behind the plate is far late. And so Matt Baker, a two-base steal. Only one of them will count as actually, neither of them will count as an actual stolen base. Both will be credited as a wild pitch. Excuse me, my correction, as Eric Moon, master scorekeeper, sits next to me telling me one stolen base, as that one got away from Jake Zarat behind the plate. And so one stolen base and one advancement on a wild pitch. But now regardless, Matt Baker on third base with nobody out, with a chance to tie this ball game, only standing 90 feet away. And so the count now 1-2 on Woody Woodruff. So now Baker 13 for 14 on the season with stolen base attempt. Infield playing entirely in as the 1-2 is fouled in the air down the right side. Mike Ruggerio's dad, Mike Ruggerio Sr., trying to make the catch in the bleachers over there. Can't quite get it. So it's a 1-2 count here still to Woody Woodruff. Working out of the stretch, Garcia deals the 1-2. Fastball just misses low and away, and the count's going to even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Garcia in a tough spot here now. Trying to defend a 1-run lead, the run to tie this ball game up, standing only 90 feet away. Entire infield playing in 2-2. Chopped on the ground towards third. A diving attempt by Groskuth is no good. Goes through for a base hit. Easily coming in to score is Matt Baker, and Woody Woodruff's going into second base, and he'll be in there with a double. Clutch hitting there by Woody Woodruff for the Rome Generals, as now it's a tie ball game 2-2 in the top of the 8th. And that's something that Woodruff has been showing a good bit of. He hasn't gotten the majority of the playing time for catchers, but he's driven in a few RBIs this season, 4 to be exact. That's also his 5th double of the year in his limited playing time, and that'll bring up another pinch hitter here for the Rome Generals. It'll be Steven Peters, to come in for Kenny Michael in right field. Peters played center field the first 2 times against this Onondaga Flames team, and he shows bunt and fouls it back to the netting behind home plate. He's behind in the count 0-1. Peters heading into today, stellar bat on him. 408 his batting average for the player out of City College of New York, a native of Peekskill, just about an hour and a half north of New York City. Time is called as Gunnar Groen, the designated starter for the Flames, to bring out Bowles to the home plate umpire. So Peters, the lefty, against the right-handed pitcher Nick Garcia, a lead on second as more fireworks setting off in center field. The 0-1 is chopped foul behind the plate, goes off the gear of Jake Sarai, and the count's 0-2. First baseman playing in, that's Mike Stefan. Again, with nobody out and a runner on second base, anticipating a bunt to move the run to take the lead up to third base. But now an 0-2 count, so that's less likely, and he's returning back to normal defensive positioning. Garcia looking back at second. McLean O'Connor returns to regular position as the 0-2 misses high, counts 1-2. Last few days have been absolute scorchers here in upstate New York, except for the one day on Monday where it turned into torrential rain, but now a little bit more moderate in the low 80s today. 1-2 pitch misses outside, so an even 2-2 count here on Steven Peters. With a run on second, a single could bring him around. So far, Peters has 7 runs batted in on the year through 22 games played. A shift for the lefty Peters, as playing in shallow right field is Brian Hart, the second baseman. 2-2 pitch misses inside, so now a full count after being down 0-2. Garcia in a tough spot here. Should Peters get on first base, it'll be Joe Bramante up to bat, who's already singled twice today. And the 3-2 misses ball 4. So from ahead in the count 0-2, Nick Garcia walks Steven Peters. And now runners on first and second with nobody out in the top of the 8th inning. And I'll bring up the designated hitter, Joe Ozuna. My apologies. Jonel Ozuna 0 for 2 on a pair of strikeouts. And he also walked, and it looks like Nick Garcia might be done for the day as pitching coach Robert Anders is coming out to talk to him. Conversation going out on the mound there, as it'll be a pinch hitter coming up for the Rome Generals. It's Donnie Stokes coming in for Jonel Ozuna at designated hitter. We'll wait to see what happens on the mound with Robert Anders and Nick Garcia in the infield. And looks like Anders will leave him out there with 2 on and no away. And Donnie Stokes will be in for his first at-bat of the night. Stokes out of Central Alabama Community College. Plays in 21 games so far this season, and typically an outfielder, has played a lot of middle infield so far against this Flames team. Hitting .321 entering today on the season. A pair of extra base hits, including a home run, also 8 runs batted in. First pitch to Stokes, a fastball driven into left field and deep. Chasing that one back is DiFilippo, and he's able to park right in front of the warning track and make the catch for the first out. A very long first out for the Onondaga Flames, but it's an out nonetheless, and there's 1 away. DiFilippo had to track that one a long ways, and now a double play opportunity with 2 on and 1 away as Joe Bramante steps into the box. He hasn't been retired yet. A pair of singles and a walk back in the 4th. So warming up in the bullpen for the Onondaga Flames is Keon Taylor, should Nick Garcia get pulled from this ballgame. The righty working against the righty Bramante at the plate. First pitch, a fastball misses outside, and the count's 1-0. So the middle infield's playing close to second base, keeping a very close eye on Woody Woodruff over there. He's got a little bit of wheels of his own, 1 stolen base on the year in 3 attempts. 1-0. Fastball misses high and inside. Bramante has to step back just a hair to keep that one away from his face. And the count's 2-0. Flames looking to get out of this inning with a runner in scoring position and a tie ball game after Garcia allowed a run to score earlier in this half inning. 2-0. cut on and missed. A breaking ball outside, catches Bramante out in front, and the count's now 2-1 here. Garcia needs to have a short memory here. It's something a lot of these Flames pitchers always have, and something that Jimmy Flahive has imposed on the rest of this pitching staff is having confidence in all pitches. No matter what the situation is, no matter what's working for you, you can't be afraid to throw any of the pitches in your arsenal, as the 2-1 fastball misses outside, and the count's 3-1. The fastball hasn't been Nick Garcia's friend so far this half inning, but he's sticking with it because, as I've been saying, it's important to have confidence in all your pitches. And that's something pitching coach Robert Andrews imposes on all the players in that Flames bullpen. 3-1. Fastball just catches the upper third of the plate. Bramante was getting ready to walk over to first, but instead it's a full count. Bramante in danger of getting retired for the first time today. Middle infield in double play depth, anticipating a possible turn 2. Garcia calmly waiting in the stretch. He deals the payoff. Cut on and missed. Fastball outside, gets Bramante to chase, and now 2 away here in the top of the 8th, and that brings up Chris DiGiacomo. Nick Garcia able to get the crucial out in order to de-stress the situation for the Onondaga Flames out in the field. And DiGiacomo, 1 for 3 on the day, a fly out to right, a ground out to second, and a single to his name. DiGiacomo's probably had a good bit of fun today because he's been out in the direction of the Flames bullpen, and the Flames bullpen is known to converse up the outfielder they're closest to. So when they were in Sherrill in the right field porch, they were chatting up the right fielder. And today, they're chatting up DiGiacomo out there in left field. That one's quickly fouled off the foot of DiGiacomo. He's going to walk that one off, as that one got a good piece of his foot, and the count's 0-1. As DiGiacomo takes some time to walk that one off. Talking to some of the Flames pitchers, they love to chat up the left fielder, just keep the game entertaining. And last game between these two teams, it was not Chris DiGiacomo, but they have a good relationship. Both these teams are very cordial with each other, unlike some other relationships. But these two teams seem to love each other. They were sharing some pregame meal provided courtesy of the Onondaga Flames Ball Club earlier today. Some fried chicken and watermelon, as the 0-1 misses inside, and the count's evened up at a ball and a strike. They were bonding over food, playing some cornhole ahead of today's game. It was going up until 45 minutes before game time, and they seem to be having a lot of fun with each other, and DiGiacomo probably having a good time out there and left tonight. The 1-1 misses low, so 2 balls and a strike to DiGiacomo with 2 away in a tie ball game, as the Generals have 2 runners on, 1 in scoring position. Garcia has been in a tough spot all inning, a chance to escape without any more damage here. The 2-1's cut on and missed. Pitch was well inside, but giving chase to that one was DiGiacomo, and now the count's even at 2-2. It's Woody Woodruff leading off of second base and Steven Peters leading off of first. Garcia's retired the last 2 batters. Kenny retired the third one to end the inning. 2-2. Fastball way inside as DiGiacomo has to jump out of the way of that one. So now back to a full count for Nick Garcia. It's now the second full count he's faced that inning. Actually the third this inning for Nick Garcia. First 3-2 count resulted in a walk. The second one resulted in a swinging strikeout in the last at-bat against Joe Bramante. The payoff, runners go. Chopped foul down the third base line over near the Flames dugout, so DiGiacomo fights to stay alive for one more pitch. Count stays at 3-2. Flames coach Will Chapman exiting the dugout to give some defensive arrangements to the Flames outfield, ordering them where to position. Looks like he's telling Adam Gordon out there in center field to position a little bit closer to straightaway center, as the payoff is popped up shallow center field. Getting under that one is McLean O'Connor, and he'll make the catch after taking a few steps back, and that will retire the side after allowing 1 run and having another in scoring position with nobody out in this inning. Nick Garcia able to escape the jam. Now a tie ball game between these two teams heading into the bottom of the 8th. bottom of the 8th inning, the game's now knotted up at 2 after Rome was able to put up a crooked number in the top half. And to lead off this inning, it'll be Jake Zarat for the Onondaga Flames. Zarat heading into this at bat 0 for 3, a fielder's choice, a strikeout, and a flyout to right. As the first pitch misses for ball 1, the count's 1-0. One quick defensive change for the Rome Generals, as after pinch hitting for Kenny Michael in the last inning, Steven Peters is now out in right field. 1-0's cut it on and missed. Pulling the string on that one was Pascucci, still on the mound for his second inning of work, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. One here to Zarat. A 55-foot curveball. That one falls in the dirt. And so a 2-1 count here to Zarat, as the Flames trying to take the lead back after a crooked number in the top half. It's now a 2-2 ball game, regular defensive positioning for the righty-righty matchup. A swing and a miss here on the 2-1 count, and the count's evened up at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jake Zarat. Zarat had been getting out of the funk he'd been in to start this season, now stumbling back into a little bit of one today. 0 for 3 so far, as the 2-2 is cut on and missed, and he's going to run to first as Woody Woodruff dropped the third strike. It's a wild throw, and he reaches. So a drop third strike and a throwing error, and he reaches first base safely. So a runner on with no one away for the Flames. As well, could be a pinch hitter here, as it looks like Trace Peterson about to come up to bat. Peterson goes back to head coach Mike Cordero just outside the Flames dugout for a quick conversation. And looks like Cordero's still deciding who he wants to hit, and he's going to decide on Trace Peterson over Mike Ruggiero, who had been putting on his gloves and was wearing a helmet outside the dugout. So that was the second strikeout of the game for Pascucci, but the runner reaches first base. It'll be Trace Peterson pinch hitting for Nick Garcia, which means Nick Garcia is done for the day on the mound, as by putting him on the mound when he started the game as the designated hitter, there is no longer a designated hitter available to the Flames. And on the first pitch, Peterson skies that one to right center field. Running in from center to his right is the center fielder, Matt Baker, and he makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Baker runs a long way to make that out, and it'll be Jared Grosguth coming in to pinch hit for Reed Gibbs after initially coming in as a defensive substitution in the top half of the inning. In the last half inning, Grosguth originally took his pre-inning warm-up at second base before Coach Cordero came out and ordered him to switch with Brian Hart at third. And the first pitch to him is an off-speeder that catches the outside corner. He's behind in the count 0-1. So it's Jake Zarat leading off of first base in this tie ball game in the bottom of the 8th inning. 1 away, an 0-1 count to Grosguth. 0-1 pitch gets away from Woodruff behind the plate, but it's a cold strike. And Grosguth's behind in the count 0-2. Grosguth is one of the more aggressive hitters on this team. It's surprising to see him taking a couple of pitches like that. And he's in a little bit of a hole here, so he's going to have to get even more aggressive to stay alive in this at-bat, as there are plenty of balls to work with for Pascucci on the mound. And he quickly steps off, forcing Zarat to retreat back to first base. As the middle infielders are playing a little closer to the second base bag with the double play opportunity available to them. 0-2 curveball catches the outside corner. Grosguth knew he was out right away as he didn't swing, and there are 2 away in the bottom half of the 8th, and that brings up McLean O'Connor for his second plate appearance after he popped out to first base in foul territory his first time up after pinch hitting for Jake Evans. So that's 3 strikeouts so far for Joe Pascucci, and he deals the first pitch to McLean O'Connor, who shows bunt but pulls back as that one finds the strike zone anyway, so an 0-1 count here to O'Connor. Pascucci struck out Zarat, but it was a wild pitch and he got to first, but so far he's mowing down the Flames hitters these innings. Strikeout, flyout, strikeout, and that one might have hit McLean O'Connor, but the home plate umpire says it didn't. McLean O'Connor took a jump as he was furious at that call. Mike Cordero coming in to talk to either O'Connor or the home plate umpire. A quick debate here. O'Connor thought that one hit him on the foot, and he was walking to first base, but the home plate umpire said no. And so it's a 1-1 count here to O'Connor, but he's going to have to stay in the batter's box. A little bit of confusion there, but Zarat now taking his short lead off of first base as the 1-1 is in the dirt. The throw down to first on the back pick attempt is not in time. Zarat able to get back in there safely. It's now 2-1 after O'Connor thought he got hit by a pitch on the 1-1. However, the home plate umpire disagreed, so he's still in the batter's box fighting a 2-1 count against Pascucci. And with 2 away, the 2-1 fastball misses outside. So now a hitter's count here for O'Connor. It's 3-1. Top of the order on deck after McLean O'Connor. It'll be Adam Gordon to come up next should the inning continue. 3-1. Fastball chopped on the ground towards third in foul territory right over to Mike Cordero in the third base coaching box. And the count moves to full 3-2. And stepping back to the batter's box now is McLean O'Connor, facing a full count with the runner on first, 2 away in the bottom of the 8th. A tie ball game between the Flames and the Generals after the Flames had blown through the Generals the first 2 times. Runners goes, and that one's driven into left center field. Running to chase that one is DiGiacomo. Tries for the over-the-shoulder catch, and he can't make it. That one goes to the wall. Coming around to score is Jake Zarat. Going into third safely is McLean O'Connor with the RBI triple. McLean O'Connor comes in clutch in the bottom of the 8th, and now the Flames have a 1-run lead over the Rome Generals. How about that? McLean O'Connor thought he should have reached base on a hit by a pitch. Instead, he gets an RBI triple to give the Flames a 3-2 lead. And now that brings back up the top of the order in Adam Gordon, who pinch hit back in the 7th inning, and he went yard. So, a lot of successful extra base hits for the Flames in these last 2 innings, as the first pitch catches the outside corner on the fastball, and the count's 0-1 on Gordon. So the Flames now have a 1-run lead, and a 2-run lead, possibly 90 feet away. The infield shift to the right for the lefty Gordon, as the 0-1 pitch is a called strike, so the count's now 0-2. But McLean O'Connor, talking about being clutch these last 2 games. A pair of home runs on Monday against Sherrill, and now an RBI triple to take the lead late in the 8th against Rome, as that one's a broken bat blooper over the middle, and that's a diving catch by Anthony Perino behind the second base bag. Adam Gordon breaks his back on that blooper, but it's gunned down by Perino, as he makes a diving stop behind the second base bag in shallow outfield, and that retires the side. But the Flames able to get a run on the RBI triple by McLean O'Connor with 2 away. Heading into top 9, it's a 3-2 Flames lead.
3 outs to get for the Onondaga Flames after an RBI triple from McLean O'Connor to put the Flames back out in front. Eric Moon, Brandon Ross with you for the 9th inning and throughout this whole game. Thank you for tuning in and listening to us for Flames Baseball here on Team Line here on Independence Day. We have enjoyed our holiday. We hope you have enjoyed yours so far, too. Pinch hitter for the Generals to lead off the top of the 9th inning, Patrick Kenny, who made an appearance as a substitution for the Generals in the last meeting between the two teams. Came into play first base in the 8th inning. He was actually a pinch hitter in the top half of the inning. Went 1 for 2, a single and a run scored, and a ground out double play to end the game. He pinch hits for Jimmy Valenti, who was a third baseman. Left-hand batter faces a new pitcher for the Flames, Keon Taylor, on to attempt to pick up his 6th save of the season. As the fastball is outside for ball 1, the count 1 ball and no strikes. No defensive substitutions for the Flames, so Keon Taylor, with the DH now foregone by the Flames, is in the 7th spot in the order. 1-0. Breaking pitch finds the lower third of the zone for strike 1. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike to Kenny. Kenny on the year batting .283. This is his 20th game of the season. 13 of 46, 9 runs scored, and 5 RBIs as he lines one down the left field line. That one drops in fair territory in the corner. Corralled by DiFilippo there. Kenny rounding first, heading for 2. The throw is cut off by McLean O'Connor, and Patrick Kenny leads off the 9th with a double. The tie and run in scoring position for the Generals right away.
He's doing that, as you can see if you're watching out in left center field. The fireworks are going off all around us as the Chiefs have finally ended their ball game against the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. So fireworks going out all around here.
They've been going off pretty much constantly for the most part in the last 3 innings. And some fireworks also of the, well, that are not actually fireworks. You might have noticed in the last half inning, it was in the fence. If you could see some flashing lights in the right center field fence, you're not seeing things. There was a high-speed chase going on in the streets just in front of OCC Stadium as the pitch is outside to Rob Gallagher for ball 1. He squared up the bunt but pulled it back. That is the obvious choice for Rob Gallagher or any general at the plate right now. Get the bunt down, get the runner to third base with the 1 away. Grosguth in on the grass, so is Stefan. 1-0, squares up the bunt again, lays it down. It's a fair ball down the third base side. Grosguth gloves it, and he bobbles it. So Gallagher reaches as well, and there are runners on the corners with nobody out. The tie and run is 90 feet away from scoring, and the go-ahead run is on base.
Keon Taylor now in a really tight situation with nobody away in the top of the 9th, only holding a 1-run lead, 2 runners on base. If you're reading the scoreboard in right field, not sure if you can on the screen, it shows 1 out, but there isn't an out. There are no outs in this inning. Keon Taylor's allowed back-to-back hits, and, you know, he doesn't find himself in this situation too often, but usually with his back against the wall, he does pretty well.
No official scoring yet on that play. If I had to guess, I would say a hit because Gallagher was speeding down the first base line, and usually those sort of plays do get called a hit, even when the third baseman bobbles the ball.
I wouldn't call that a routine play.
It was not. Perino chops it towards second base. Hart charges in, bobbles it. The runner is on to second. Throw to first is in time. Hart, though, gets the job done as he holds up the runner at third base. Now second and third and 1 away on the 4-3 by Perino. 4-3 ground out, 1 out. Runners on first and second. That brings up the top of the order. It is Matt Baker, the center fielder. Now, if you can't see the scoreboard out in right field, the way the scoreboard works, both Brandon and I have worked it before, is the outs, you can't really change them. As the pitch is outside, and on the intentional walk attempt, the runner is tagged out. It was a suicide squeeze attempt on the intentional walk. Baker missed the fastball and tagged out trying to get home was the pinch runner, Julian Pedruzzo, somebody you know, Brandon. But
Yeah.
the tie and run still at third base with 2 away.
Julian Pedruzzo looked very angry coming back into the dugout, probably criticizing the coach's decision there. Probably should have anticipated that to try to set up the double play, but now 1 out just ends the ball game.
And no more intentional walk as the breaky ball is in there for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes, and suddenly the Flames are a strike away from extending their winning streak to 5 games, which would be their longest winning streak of the season. They have won 4 in a row, which is tied for their longest. More fireworks as the 0-2 is swung on a miss. Strike 3. Baker goes down on 3 pitches. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, sir. And good morning, good afternoon, and good night to the Rome Generals. Flames hold on and win it 3-2. Happy Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day indeed. A great win for the Flames. The first nail-biter against this Generals team, who they dominated in the first 2 matchups. They had to work a little bit harder today, but in the end, they came out on top.
A gutsy victory, a clutch victory. Bottom of the 8th inning, they retook the lead after taking the lead in the 7th. And then the great defensive plays comparative to the Generals' mistakes on the base paths. And the Flames hold on to win it 3-2 instead of the game still going on, perhaps being tied right now. But we're not thinking about that anymore. Flames win. They're 16-10 on the year, a game and a half ahead of the Syracuse Spartans for first place in the NYCBL Eastern Division. Folks, they are streaking right now, and we're talking about wins, not the other kind.
That's for sure. And, 5-game winning streak, that's now their longest of the season. They've been really hot. Now the run differential over the last 5 games has been plus 40 runs. This is by far the narrowest win of their winning streak, but it still shows they were able to handle the pressure as they found themselves in a very tight ball game late, but they were able to finish the job.
Nick Garcia gets the win. He improves to 1-1 on the year, and Joe Pascucci records the loss. He is now 1-2 on the season. So the final score is the Onondaga Flames 3 and the Rome Generals 2. For Brandon Ross, I'm Eric Moon saying so long and good night and happy Independence Day, folks. The Flames are winners again.